Chapter 1521. I just want to beat you up, no reason needed. Seeing the rope in Chu Shang's hand, Wang Chongju felt an ominous premonition arise in his heart. He realized that things might go wrong. The soul of a little god emperor was strong, and their sixth sense was very keen. They often had a feeling about things that were about to happen that were unfavorable to them. But it was too late. The rope in Chu Shang's hand instantly grew larger and thicker, then flew over like a python, binding Wang Chongju. Wang Chongju frowned slightly, wondering what it meant to be tied up with a rope. His laws and power were not affected in the slightest. As long as he didn't move, Chu Shang couldn't do anything to him. But in the next second, something that alarmed him happened. The other end of the rope was actually connected to Chu Shang, wrapped around Chu Shang's arm, circle after circle. In an instant, Wang Chongju felt an unclear relationship between himself and Chu Shang. The two seemed to become one, inseparable. Wang Chongju gritted his teeth and said, "Chu Dog Bear, what exactly are you going to do?" Chu Shang chuckled, "You'll find out soon." As soon as he finished speaking, Chu Shang suddenly flew up, his whole body bursting with power, like a sharp arrow shooting straight into the sky. Wang Chongju's whole body suddenly jolted, an irresistible force directly pulling him off the ground. Once he left the ground, the law of earth was interrupted, and his defensive power was greatly weakened. Wang Chongju struggled desperately, his hands and feet were not restricted, and he could move freely. But he couldn't leave Chu Shang too far, the two were only less than a meter apart. This was the effect of the Concord rope, making the two inseparable. If he was a little god emperor now, he could easily break free from the Concord rope's binding. But he was only a god king first order now, and the Concord rope could bind him for a full 2 minutes. "Old turtle, get ready to be beaten up." Chu Shang's voice rang in his ears, followed by a fist as big as a sandbag landing on his head. With a bang, Chu Shang's heavy punch made Wang Chongju a little dizzy. Having left the earth and lost the protection of the law of earth, Wang Chongju's defense was greatly reduced, and he could no longer completely block Chu Shang's heavy punches. But this was only the beginning, followed by countless war blades rushing in frantically. Chu Shang took Wang Chongju and charged into the whirlwind formed by the war blades. The war blades, transformed by laws, densely landed on Wang Chongju's body, constantly shattering Wang Chongju's defense. Wang Chongju roared repeatedly, his body covered with layers of solid ice, but quickly shattered by the war blades. At the same time, he counterattacked with all his strength, but his attacks were indeed not very good, and were all blocked by Chu Shang's war blades. Chu Shang's iron fists were like the wind, and the war blades were like rain, beating Wang Chongju to scream incessantly. In just over 20 seconds, accompanied by a loud noise, all the solid ice completely shattered, and Wang Chongju's defense collapsed. Chu Shang let out a crazy laugh. "Next, I'm going to beat you hard. These 100 punches are for you being so arrogant usually." In Wang Chongju's continuous screams, Chu Shang bombarded him with hundreds of punches, accompanied by Chu Shang's wild laughter. "These 100 punches are for you fighting with me for Little Ling." Another 100 punches, beating Wang Chongju black and blue. "These 100 punches are for you snatching my mission rewards." After another 100 punches, Wang Chongju screamed, "When did I snatch your mission rewards?" Chu Shang shouted, "If you hadn't shamelessly squeezed in, would there have been a share for you in that mission?" Wang Chongju replied, "But I also contributed to the mission." "I don't care," Chu Shang shouted loudly, followed by dozens of punches. Wang Chongju was not convinced and continued to shout, "Then what's the reason now?" "These hundreds of punches are because I want to beat you, no reason needed." Chu Shang began to be unreasonable. His fists carried blades, becoming more and more frantic. In just 1 minute, Wang Chongju's whole body had no good flesh left, looking as miserable as could be. Chu Shang lifted Wang Chongju, "Admit defeat, or I'll continue to beat you." Wang Chongju's eyes opened from the blood. This minute was a torment he had never experienced before. He wanted to speak, but his throat seemed to be injured and he couldn't make a sound. Seeing this, Chu Shang said, "You don't admit defeat, do you? Then I'll continue to beat you." Crackling, another beating. Wang Chongju felt wronged in his heart. It wasn't that he didn't want to admit defeat, but he couldn't make a sound. Chu Shang was obviously doing it on purpose, deliberately damaging his throat, and then finding a reason to beat himself. Wang Chongju looked seriously injured, but in fact they were all superficial injuries. For a god king, these superficial injuries were nothing. Even if he broke his arms and legs, he could regenerate. The key was, it hurt. It really hurt. Those punches, those blades, were really no different from being slowly sliced to death. Wang Chongju couldn't stand it anymore. He really wanted to admit defeat, but he really couldn't make a sound. Finally, he had a flash of inspiration and communicated with the Human Emperor Network with his soul, shouting, "I admit defeat." The formation on the arena operated, and a majestic force separated the two. Chu Shang received the prompt that he had won, and then the two disappeared from the arena. Everyone who was watching this battle held their breath. It wasn't that the process was so wonderful, it was just that Chu Shang was too brutal. Asking for flowers, Wang Chongju, who was also a little god emperor, was actually treated as a target by him, beaten so miserably. Chu Shang instantly became a brutal element in the eyes of many people. But at this moment, Chu Shang's mood was particularly good. With a satisfied smile on his face, he guzzled wine. "It's so damn good, it's been many years, I've long wanted to beat that guy up. This time I finally caught the opportunity. Junior brother Lin, your Concord rope is really useful." Chu Shang raised his glass to Lin Moyu on the roof. Lin Moyu was currently paying attention to Zhuang Bai's battle. Seeing Zhuang Bai steadily gaining the upper hand, suppressing his opponent without any temper, Lin Moyu knew that Zhuang Bai was bound to win. Looking at the other battles, Dongfang Zi, Qing Fei, Wei Bowen, these top-ranked seeded players, all had no problems. Lin Moyu retracted his gaze and flew down from the roof. Senior brother Chu was still merciful. Chu Shang said, "We are all of the same race, although we dislike that guy, we wouldn't go so far as to kill him. Come, let's drink. Today I'm feeling great, let's drink until we drop." Lin Mo nodded and drank with Chu Shang. Wang Zongju only suffered external injuries. It is estimated that he will recover in half a day at most, which will not affect the subsequent round-robin matches. After today's top 16 are decided, the next step is the round-robin. I don't know what kind of method the round-robin will adopt. The Human Emperor Network always uses different methods, making it impossible to guess. There have been single-person round-robins, team round-robins, and even free-for-alls. The Human Emperor Network seems to make different adjustments based on the combat power of each session's contestants. The specific rules will only be announced just before the round-robin actually begins. After a while, Zhuang Bai also returned from the arena. Zhuang Bai won this match without any suspense. The whole process was quite standard. Chu Shang shouted loudly, "Old Zhuang, come over and drink with me, today is really great." Zhuang Bai chuckled, "Did you get your revenge?" I did. I got it all out of my system." He gulped down wine, and soon became drunk. It is difficult for god kings to get drunk. No matter how much ordinary wine they drink, they will not get drunk. Only wine that can intoxicate the soul can make a god king drunk. But today is different. Chu Shang wants to get drunk himself, so any wine will do. Zhuang Bai sighed, "I hope he can really let go after this." Lin Mo smiled and said, "It seems there's a story to hear. Is senior brother Zhuang willing to tell it?" Zhuang Bai smiled, "Actually, it's nothing." Chapter 1522. Senior brother Lin is really amazing. Taking advantage of Chu Shang's drunken stupor, Zhuang Bai rarely told Chu Shang's embarrassing story. Chu Shang once met a female cultivator named Xiaoling during a mission. Chu Shang fell in love with Xiaoling at first sight, but Xiaoling was not interested in Chu Shang. However, because Chu Shang was strong, Xiaoling would take the initiative to invite Chu Shang in the subsequent missions. This also made Chu Shang mistakenly believe that Xiaoling was interested in him. Later, Wang Zongju appeared and performed tasks with them. For some reason, Xiaoling eventually became Wang Zongju's wife. So Chu Shang has always had opinions on Wang Zongju, often calling it the hatred of taking his wife. Zhuang Bai said with a chuckle, "Actually, this guy is the third party." Xiaoling and Wang Zongju were childhood sweethearts and had already made a marriage agreement. After this incident, it is estimated that his anger should dissipate. Lin Mo looked at Chu Shang, not knowing what to say. After all this trouble, the so-called hatred of taking his wife was just Chu Shang's wishful thinking. However, based on Lin Mo's understanding of Chu Shang, this guy looks carefree but is actually very thoughtful. It is estimated that he already knew it, but he couldn't let go of his pride. This matter will not be mentioned again in the future, let it float in the wind and scatter into stardust. Chu Shang was drunk for most of the day, until all the matches were over before he woke up. After waking up, Chu Shang was still the same as usual. Lin Mo and Zhuang Bai were very tacit and didn't mention anything about Wang Zongju again. There were no major surprises in the 5th round of matches. Among the 15 who finally won, 12 were players numbered 2 to 13. Including Lin Mo, all players numbered 1 to 13 were in the top 16. Among the 13 people, 3 are from God City and 2 are from the Temple of War. The remaining 8 people were recommended by the domain lords of the 4 major star regions. While proving their absolute strength, they also proved that the 4 domain lords' vision was correct. The remaining 3 people, numbered 18, 19, and 21 respectively, also belong to the low-numbered players. If divided by star region, the Vermilion Bird star region accounts for 3 of the top 16, namely Lin Mo, Zhuang Bai, and Chu Shang. The Azure Dragon star region occupies 4 seats, while the White Tiger star region and the Black Tortoise star region each occupy 2 seats. After the game, Xu Jiangxing also came over, looking a little nervous. The round robin will start tomorrow. Although the specific method of the round robin is not yet known, everything still depends on strength. Xu Jiangxing is relatively weak among all the people, and it is inevitable that he will suffer. The next day, all the contestants received a reminder from the Human Emperor Network. The round robin will officially begin in 1 hour, please be prepared. Until before the start of the round robin, no one knew the specific rules. It is also difficult to prepare. Lin Mo took out several true God Realm magic weapons and gave them to Xu Jiangxing. They were not magic weapons such as swords, which Xu Jiangxing did not lack. What Lin Mo gave were some magic weapons with unique functions. For example, one magic weapon is a small sword, but this small sword has no offensive effect. Its function is to suck one's own blood and then turn oneself into a blood man. In the blood man state, most of the damage from laws can be immune, while one's own attacks are not affected. This is considered a good auxiliary magic weapon, but the duration is very short, only 1 minute. There are several such messy magic weapons, all of which Lin Mo thought were fun and kept. In his eyes, these are just toys, but they can be useful in some places. For example, the concentric rope, Chu Shang relied on it to easily defeat Wang Zongju. Some magic weapons, when used at the appropriate time, can exert great effects. As for how Xu Jiangxing uses them, it depends on him. The most useful of these is a jade pendant, which can hide one's aura. Although the jade pendant is only a true God Realm magic weapon, once used, even God Kings will find it difficult to detect. Zhuang Bai looked at the things Lin Mo sent out, with some guesses in his mind. Junior brother Lin, do you have some guesses about the rules of the round robin? Lin Mo said, I have a little bit, but it may not be accurate. Xu Jiangxing's eyes lit up as he listened. Senior brother Lin, please speak freely. Lin Mo would naturally not keep him in suspense. So many people are participating in the round robin, it is impossible to compare them one by one. I guessed from the beginning that the round robin would be a light simulation of the battlefield. Since we want to simulate the battlefield, we must simulate various situations. So I think that the round robin is very likely to be a team competition, or a free-for-all, or even a combination of multiple methods. This can test your actual combat ability, adaptability, and teamwork ability. Then, make a comprehensive assessment based on your performance. It was precisely because of this that Lin Mo gave Xu Jiangxing these magic weapons, just in case. Xu Jiangxing admired Lin Mo 10,000 times in his heart. It seems that as long as there is a little clue, Lin Mo can guess many possibilities. This kind of ability is something that he can never compare to. He began to familiarize himself with the magic weapons. If it is really as Lin Mo said, these magic weapons will be very useful. An hour later, he was teleported into the arena. Lin Mo, Zhuang Bai, and Chu Shang began to watch the round robin. Their top 16 matches will begin after the round robin, but the rules have not yet been determined. The round robin also has a considerable reference value for them. Large forests, lakes, islands, and glaciers appeared on many arenas. Stars appeared in the sky above some arenas, including cold ice stars and hot stars, bringing different environmental changes. Some arenas even turned into a world of lava. Different terrains appeared on different arenas. But a unified standard is that each arena has 4 gates around it. No one knows where the gates lead to. Nearly 500 contestants were teleported into different arena fields, each arena having between 5 to 10 contestants, the numbers not being equal. At this moment, the Human Emperor Network finally announced the rules of the round-robin tournament. The rules of the round-robin tournament are as follows. Everyone starts with 100 points. Everyone aims to defeat their opponents. The winner gains 1 point, and the loser loses 1 point. The loser will be randomly teleported to another arena field, each arena field having a different environment and a different number of contestants present. Contestants can also enter other arena fields through the teleportation gates around the arena field. Contestants can form teams to join forces, but the points gained will be split equally. If the points gained are less than 0.5, no points will be awarded. If a contestant feels they are no match, they can directly admit defeat and will be randomly teleported to another arena. The remaining restrictions are the same as in the arena tournament and must not be violated. Round-robin tournament duration, 30 days. Note: the arena field is not safe, please do not linger for extended periods. Looking at the rules, many people were confused and unclear about their meaning for a time. However, some quick-witted people had already completely understood the meaning of the round-robin tournament. At this moment, Xu Jiangxing was truly convinced. The difference from what Lin Mo had guessed was not great. Senior brother Lin is really too amazing, he could even guess this. Don't rush, follow what junior brother Lin said and first analyze the rules. Only by understanding the rules will we not suffer losses. We have 30 days, so let's take our time. Chapter 1523. The rules are full of pitfalls. The rules were very clear, and they also hid some other information. One of them was that multiple people could join forces, but after a victory, the points gained would need to be split equally. If it was less than 0.5 points, no points would be gained. In other words, the maximum would be a team of 2. If a team of 3 joined forces and defeated someone, none of the 3 would get any points. The key was also here. The rules did not have a clear definition of joining forces. What counts as joining forces? For example, he was fighting a person and was about to win. At this time, someone cut in and joined the attack. Perhaps they only touched him lightly. Would that count as joining forces? If it counted, Xu Jiangxing had some strange ideas in his heart. There was also the option to actively admit defeat, which would directly teleport you to another arena field. This operation could prevent oneself from being injured. Knowing that you are no match, it is better to actively admit defeat and wait for an opportunity. There was also the last point: do not linger for extended periods. Thinking of this, Xu Jiangxing immediately moved. He didn't know what the consequences of lingering for extended periods would be, but since the Human Emperor Network had stated the rules, it was best to abide by them. Xu Jiangxing was currently in a jungle, with towering ancient trees, some weeds taller than people, and dense thorns. It was very difficult to move forward in such a jungle. At this time, flying was not restricted, and as long as he flew up, he could get a better view. In this kind of environment, vision was very important. However, after thinking about it, Xu Jiangxing did not take off. He still maintained a moving state, cautiously advancing in the jungle. After a while, he finally saw another contestant. Xu Jiangxing recognized him. This was contestant number 399, from the Xuanwu Starfield. In terms of strength, he was stronger than himself, and because of his outstanding defense, Xu Jiangxing was not confident in killing him. Xu Jiangxing restrained all his aura, trying not to be discovered by him. Contestant 399 flew over his head, and not long after, a lot transformed into a sharp arrow and shot out from the ground. The arrow was very fast and pierced through his body. With a scream, contestant 399 fell from the sky. There really is danger. Xu Jiangxing's heart tightened. There was indeed danger. Luckily he didn't fly in the air. At the same time, his eyes lit up, staring at the direction the person fell. There's an opportunity. He quickly sneaked over, while taking out a jade pendant and sticking it on himself. The jade pendant concealed his aura and shielded his movements. Xu Jiangxing quickly found him. He was leaning against a tree, healing himself. The wound was not small, but not fatal. However, it seemed that he was temporarily unable to move and had lost his combat ability. A longbow appeared in Xu Jiangxing's hand. Drawing the bow and shooting an arrow, the movements were completed in one go. That person never expected to be ambushed, and when he reacted, it was already too late. Xu Jiangxing's sharp arrow pierced through his heart. With a scream, that person's body disappeared. Defeated a contestant, gained 1 point. Xu Jiangxing received a prompt from the Human Emperor Network. He was not worried about really killing the other person. Since the Human Emperor Network could allow them to do this, they naturally had a way to control it. A minute later, contestant 399, who was ambushed by Xu Jiangxing, appeared in another arena field. The human emperor network healed his injuries, and the injuries on his body had improved greatly, but not completely. But at least there was no problem with movement, and he could heal in at most an hour. Bastard, which bastard ambushed me? Don't let me know, otherwise I'll make you suffer. He cursed and shouted, and began to heal himself. As the round-robin tournament began, the attention of most people across the entire human race, major starfields, and star systems was focused on the competition. Not long after the competition started, people encountered each other and began to compete. Some people were ambushed, some were assassinated, and some were defeated head-on. Points began to change, and the rankings on the leaderboard also changed accordingly. Everyone's starting score was 100, and at this time Xu Jiangxing gained 1 point, ranking in the top 10. However, with his strength, he would eventually fall down. After all, his realm was not high enough, and his strength was somewhat lacking. Zhuangbai chuckled. Junior brother Lin's guess was really accurate, it really is a combination of multiple competition systems. Lin Mo smiled. Guesses are just guesses, ultimately it depends on junior brother Xu's judgment and adaptability. But it seems that junior brother Xu is very smart, grasping the key points in the rules. Chu Shang scratched his head. These rules look like there are a lot of twists and turns, it makes my head hurt. Junior brother Lin, can you help me explain it? Chu Shang was not stupid, he just didn't like to use his brain, or it could be said that he was lazy. Lin Mo did not refuse. First of all, the rules say to defeat the opponent, without saying anything about killing, indicating that the rules have changed. But this point conflicts with the restrictions of the elimination round, so the degree to which it is applied needs to be grasped by oneself. God King Realm treasures definitely cannot be used, soul attacks are also not allowed, and you cannot deliberately kill people. But in fact, the rules have been relaxed, and I think seriously injuring the opponent is not a problem. Junior brother Xu grasped this point. Zhuangbai chuckled. That's right, just now junior brother Xu shot an arrow through the other person's heart, which would definitely not be allowed in the elimination round, but obviously it is allowed here. Lin Mo continued to explain. Secondly, the teleportation gates around the arena field can be used to go to other arena fields, which gives the strong the opportunity to switch arenas, making it easier for them to get high scores, thereby widening the gap between high and low scores. Thirdly, contestants can admit defeat when they feel they are no match, and they will also be teleported to other arena fields. For the weak, this is a kind of protection to avoid injury. For a powerhouse, spending 1 point is like saving a lot of time. Chu Shang was taken aback for a moment. You mean, even if we don't encounter a powerhouse, we can still use this method to switch battlefields? Lin Moyu nodded. That should be possible. Fourth, no more than 3 people can join forces. If 3 people join forces, there will be no points. If 2 people join forces, each gets half. The efficiency may not be higher than a single person, but it will definitely be safer. But you can have 3 or even 4 people join forces, but only 2 people take action. This way, you have safety and points. However, this rule also gives opportunities to those who like to sneak attack. You can come in when others have fought to a certain point. You can still get points without actually having to fight. Chu Shang was stunned again. Wouldn't that be very despicable? Zhuangbai answered for Lin Moyu. On the battlefield, there's no such thing as despicable or not. Everything is for the purpose of victory. There's nothing you can't do. The arena is just a light simulation of the battlefield. On the real battlefield, there are too many sneak attackers. The last point is to always keep moving. Once you stop, you will be attacked by the formation. Also, you can't just walk around randomly. The arena isn't safe. If you're not careful, you'll be attacked. I think there should be many traps in the arena. In fact, these can also be used. If you can make good use of the rules, even if your strength is insufficient, your ranking won't be too bad. Chu Shang's head hurt from listening. Why are there so many twists and turns? It's a real headache. I hope our competition isn't this kind of round robin. Zhuangbai glanced at Lin Moyu. If we also have a similar competition, Lin Shidi's opponents will probably be miserable. Lin Moyu is too smart, using the rules to the extreme. Being his opponent is very painful. Lin Moyu shook his head. No, in the face of absolute strength, the rules are useless. Chapter 1524. Those who use the rules are all smart people. Lin Moyu's words were very domineering. His tone was calm, but it made people have to admit that Lin Moyu really had the strength. Even though Zhuang Bai had never seen Lin Moyu go all out, he knew that he was far from Lin Moyu's opponent. Even if he released all restrictions and went all out, the result would not change. Not only him, but also Dongfang Zi, Qing Fei, and others would be the same. In fact, Lin Moyu had something else to say, which was that although this round-robin competition wouldn't really kill you, it was even more terrifying than real death. Even if you suffer a fatal attack, you won't die, but you can experience the same feeling as death. Except for the result being different, the whole process is the same. During the 30 days of the round-robin competition, some people may experience life and death many times. If their will is not strong enough, they may have already collapsed. If they can persevere, then their will be greatly tempered, which will have amazing benefits for future cultivation. This is also one of the purposes of the round-robin competition. It looks very cruel, but it is also very necessary. The human race not only needs geniuses and powerful warriors, but also powerful warriors who are not afraid of death. The round-robin competition is still continuing. The Human Emperor Network controls the formation, simulating mountains, rivers, seas, sun, moon, and stars. There is day and night, secret realms, and star seas. Each arena has its own characteristics. The contestants shuttle through them. Because of the rules, they cannot stay for a long time, so there is no rest time. The arena is very large, but the Human Emperor Network makes it very small. It seems that there is an invisible force constantly controlling the direction of the contestants. They often meet quickly and then fight. Few people have noticed this. Especially the contestants in it, they don't feel it at all. Only Lin Moyu vaguely felt that there was a force in the formation that invisibly affected the soul's judgment, causing the contestants to approach each other. Those involved are confused. If you can see this, you may be able to turn from prey to hunter. It's a pity that without a beyond realm soul, you can't sense it at all. Xu Jiangxing encountered another opponent. The opponent's number was 452, slightly higher than him, but not much higher. The strength of the two was about the same, but Xu Jiangxing had read the opponent's information and knew the opponent's characteristics. After a great battle, Xu Jiangxing won the final victory. After the opponent was severely injured, he was teleported away by the formation. Xu Jiangxing didn't stay in the store and left immediately. He didn't know how many people were in his arena. In an unknown situation, he could only be vigilant at all times. The sun and moon changed, and Xu Jiangxing walked for a day and a night, and never encountered an enemy again. He opened the points list and took a look. He was ranked 57th with a score of 102. When he looked at it half a day ago, he was ranked in the 30s with the same 102 points. Half a day later, he had dropped to 57th. A burst of white light flashed in front, and then he saw a teleportation gate. Unconsciously, he had already reached the edge of the battlefield. He didn't know what the world was like behind the teleportation gate. But he knew what he should do. After taking a deep breath, Xu Jiangxing walked into the teleportation gate. His ears heard fierce fighting sounds, the roar of laws, and the collision of magic weapons. The vision recovered in 0.1 seconds, faster than any previous teleportation. Xu Jiangxing saw two people fighting fiercely. He also knew these two people. One was number 288, and the other was number 311. Both were stronger contestants than him. Xu Jiangxing took the jade token given by Lin Moyu, hid his aura, and hid far away. During the hiding period, Xu Jiangxing still kept moving, but the movement range was very small, and his attention was always on the battle between the two sides. Contestant number 288 gradually gained the upper hand and was about to win. At this time, Xu Jiangxing carefully shot out a law arrow. This law arrow silently passed through the air. It merged with the attack of contestant number 288 and shot into the body of contestant No. 311. The law arrow was only at the true god realm and had almost no damage. It was never discovered from beginning to end, until contestant number 311 was defeated and teleported away. Xu Jiangxing simultaneously received a prompt from the Human Emperor Network. Defeated contestant No. 311, gained 0.5 points. Xu Jiangxing's heart, which had been tense for a long time, suddenly relaxed. Then he retreated silently and disappeared in a blink of an eye. Behind him came the angry roar of contestant No. 288. Someone had intercepted him halfway and robbed him of his points. He opened the leaderboard and saw the change in points. Xu Jiangxing's 0.5 points were particularly conspicuous. Xu Jiangxing, I won't spare you. Close corner bracket exclamation mark quote. The angry roar spread throughout most of the arena, but Xu Jiangxing had already run far away. Outside the arena, countless viewers saw this scene, and they couldn't help but laugh and cry. A god Venerable patted his thigh and laughed, this Xu Jiangxing is a talent. He actually used the rules like this. Even I didn't think of it. Nonsense, he comes from the Xu family in God City. Do you think he can be bad? The Xu family in God City, no wonder. The Xu family is very strict with the disciples in the clan and has cultivated a large number of talents. It's really good. These rules are full of pitfalls. People who can use the rules are all smart people, and their future achievements will definitely be good. Xu Jiangxing's actions seemed to inspire some people. The change of 0.5 points made people's minds wander. Some people thought he had joined forces with others, but they felt that it was wrong. Contestant number 288 comes from the White Tiger Star region, and Xu Jiangxing has nothing to do with him. Soon, smart people thought of the reason. Things that were done in the same way began to increase. Many people had to pay attention to whether anyone was hiding in the dark during the war. On another arena, Qing Xiaoxiao controlled a large net magic weapon, trapping a person firmly. That person was like being tied up, unable to move. Qing Xiaoxiao's big net is a magic weapon at the peak of the true god realm. Although it can't trap people for too long, 2 or 3 minutes is not a problem. Qing Xiaoxiao didn't attack either, she moved left and right, never staying in one place. The person trapped by the net was a cultivator from the Xuanwu Star region, a 9th order god king with powerful defenses. Although Qing Xiaoxiao had trapped him, she couldn't do anything to him. The man shouted loudly, Qing Xiaoxiao, you can't even hurt me. Hurry up and let me go, and I'll pretend I never saw you. Qing Xiaoxiao shook her head, no, I want to earn your points. Earn my ass. You can't even hurt me. What's the point of dragging this out? The man kept shouting, but Qing Xiaoxiao was firm and went her own way. 2 minutes later, a law arrow suddenly shot down from the sky, piercing through the net and severely injuring the man. The man's defenses collapsed amidst screams. Qing Xiaoxiao easily went up and delivered the finishing blow, directly claiming victory. Retracting the net, Qing Xiaoxiao giggled, I'm still the smartest, I know how to use the rules. It's a pity Lin Mo is not here, otherwise, I would definitely teach you a lesson. Sooner or later, I will tie you up like a dumpling and give you a good beating. As she spoke, she gritted her silver teeth, waving her small fist, looking like she wanted to take revenge. At this moment, the sound of rushing wind rang out, and a sharp sword silently appeared behind Qing Xiaoxiao. Someone was launching a sneak attack, and their combat power was not weak. Qing Xiaoxiao reacted extremely quickly and dodged swiftly. The person missed the attack and immediately retreated, disappearing without a trace. Qing Xiaoxiao couldn't find the person and became furious. Chapter 1525. Luck is important, the cycle of life and death. The contestants gradually adapted to the round-robin competition, and various combat styles began to emerge. Sneak attacks, assassinations, picking up scraps, setting traps, everything was being used. The cultivators from the 4-star regions displayed extraordinary combat power in the round-robin competition. Compared to the cultivators from God City and the God of War Palace, they had more combat experience and stronger adaptability in the field. They often didn't linger in battle, they fought if they could, and they ran if they couldn't win. Even when facing dangerous situations, they would choose the most advantageous course of action for themselves. On the other hand, those cultivators from the God of War Palace and God City were more convinced of their own strength and more willing to fight to the death. Such a spirit was certainly good, but on the battlefield, such behavior was really courting death. Unless there was a situation where retreat was truly impossible and a fight to the death was necessary, one needed to respond flexibly. Everyone knew that this was experience. The cultivators from the 4-star regions carried out various missions year-round and often went to the battlefield to fight against alien races. Many people walked on the edge of life and death, accumulating a wealth of practical experience. This could not be obtained through closed-door cultivation. Just as Lin Mo had said, the round-robin competition was not just about strength, experience and luck were also very important. Unless you had the strength to crush everything, the balance would always be tilted. The rankings were constantly changing, and as people adapted to the round-robin competition, the changes became more and more frequent. Lin Mo also noticed something. The Human Emperor Network seemed to intentionally put people with similar numbers together. Although not all the time, it was often the case. This way, they could see who the real powerhouse was. When the round-robin competition reached the 10th day, the top 10 in the rankings were basically established. The top 10's scores were far ahead of everyone else's. The highest ranked was contestant number 19, named Zhang Gang. He came from the White Tiger Star region and had a fierce offensive, not much worse than the cultivators from the Azure Dragon Star region. He originally had a chance to enter the top 16, but unfortunately, he encountered a little god from the God of War Palace. His score reached 372 points. In just 10 days, he had defeated 272 people. He seemed to have a special talent that allowed him to quickly find his target. Every time he arrived at an arena, he would find his opponent in a very short time and then quickly defeat them. Then, he would go to another arena through the teleporter. This talent of his was useless in one-on-one battles, but on the battlefield, it was a powerful weapon. The few people ranked below him also showed extraordinary combat power. Xu Jiangxing's ranking gradually fell due to his strength. However, because of the various magical treasures Lin Mo gave him and the deliberate control of the Human Emperor network, the enemies he encountered were never much stronger than himself. His score had also been slowly increasing. After 10 days, his score had reached 121 points, ranking him at 230th place. At this moment, more than half of the people had scores below 100. Not only did they not earn points, but they also lost their basic 100 points. The unluckiest one had a score of less than 50. In these 10 days, he had been defeated more than 50 times, which could be described as extremely miserable. Lin Mo suddenly realized something, and a strong light flashed in his eyes. So the round-robin competition also has another use. It can show how good or bad a person's luck is. Luck is part of strength. Sometimes, good or bad luck can determine life and death. Xiao Sheng once had extremely bad luck and almost died. But his luck seemed to have gotten better later, and he met me and escaped death. Lin Mo seemed to have a deeper understanding of the ethereal thing that was luck. Time passed day by day, and on the 21st day of the competition, the first eliminated person appeared. Only then did people realize that there would be elimination in the round-robin competition. The eliminated person was the one with the worst luck. His score had been deducted to a negative number. He became the first person to be eliminated. In the following days, people were constantly being eliminated. The number of arenas seemed to be decreasing, and the range was also shrinking. The contestants' range of activity was getting smaller and smaller, the frequency of encounters was getting higher and higher, and the intensity of the round-robin competition was rapidly increasing. With 5 days left, more than 100 contestants had been eliminated, and only 4 arenas remained. More than 300 people were squeezed into 4 arenas, greatly increasing the probability of encounters. Moreover, the rules became stricter. Anyone who did not move for more than a minute would be attacked by the formation. At this time, the role of traps greatly increased. You didn't need a very strong trap, it was enough to trap your opponent and make it difficult for them to move within a minute. After the opponent was injured, you could easily score points by delivering the finishing blow. It was very important to make reasonable use of the rules. Under this situation, Xu Jiangxing's life became even more difficult. Not only him, but all the contestants with insufficient strength gradually became targets. In the end, you still had to rely on strength to speak. In the last few days, people were constantly being eliminated. Soon, the round-robin competition reached its last day, and only a little over 200 contestants remained. The arena shrank again, and everyone was teleported into the same arena. This day would determine the final ranking. Zhang Gang steadily held first place, and no one could shake his position. Even Qing Xiaoxiao was not his opponent. The rankings after him had gone crazy. They fought frantically, vying for the final points. The last day of the 30-day round-robin competition was the most exciting part. This day was also the most stressful for the contestants. If you were unlucky, you might die dozens, or even hundreds, of times in one day. Every time you faced life and death, it was a huge torment to the spirit. Although you knew you wouldn't die, the terror of facing a fatal attack didn't change at all. For the higher-numbered contestants, the current strategy is to hide and avoid being discovered. For the lower-numbered contestants, the strategy is to search and quickly defeat their targets. Xu Jiangxing's Jade token played a significant role, allowing him to hide underground and remain concealed, avoiding detection. Finally, the round-robin tournament reached its conclusion amidst fierce battles. The formation rumbled, teleporting everyone away, and the rankings were finalized at that moment. Zhang Gang remained in first place with a high score of 1200, unshakable in his lead. The last few days of the round-robin tournament were his peak performance. Qing Xiaoxiao secured second place with a score of 986. The scores of the following contestants were closely contested, with everyone giving their all on the final day. On the final day, 1/3 of the remaining 200-plus contestants were eliminated. It can be said that the points ultimately converged towards a small number of individuals. Xu Jiangxing was fortunate, utilizing the features of the Jade Token, he was only discovered 3 times. All 3 times were by Zhang Gang, the Jade Token was unable to evade Zhang Gang's talent. In the end, Xu Jiangxing successfully passed the round-robin tournament with a score of 102, ranking 132nd. Xu Jiangxing looked slightly pale when he returned, appearing to be in lingering fear. The feeling of being killed was not pleasant. His complexion only regained its rosy hue after drinking more than half a pot of wine. Chu Shang patted Xu Jiangxing with his large hand, "You'll get used to it after going to the battlefield a few more times." Xu Jiangxing shook his head, "That feeling is different." Indeed, it was different. It wasn't as if he hadn't been on the battlefield before, he had constantly faced life and death in battles. But the sense of terror when truly facing death was still different. Great terror exists between life and death. It wasn't just an expression. Lin Mo understood him. Back in the Turu realm, he had also narrowly escaped death. Even he had been terrified at the time. Having experienced this, Xu Jiangxing would become more indifferent to life and death, his will would become stronger and more resolute, and his future achievements would be even greater. Chapter 1526. The finals begin, restrictions lifted. On this day, in the city of great competition, some people cried and some laughed. Some drank themselves into a stupor, while others were lounging and acting crazy on the streets. All kinds of emotions were being released at that moment. After 30 days of competition, having experienced life and death, after relaxing, all kinds of emotions were not surprising. For many people, the 30 days of high-pressure competition were an unimaginable test. Some completely collapsed during the process, while others became even stronger. Most of all, there were many subtle changes that would accompany them throughout their lives in the years to come. Xu Jiangxing was drunk, very drunk. But he had a satisfied smile on his face, he was very satisfied with this round-robin tournament. He had been defeated dozens of times, if it were on a real battlefield, he would have died dozens of times. This was a harvest that ordinary people could not imagine, extremely precious. Zhuang Bai's voice was soft, "It's our turn tomorrow, junior brother Lin, do you have any thoughts?" Lin Mo shook his head, "Actually, there's no need to have any thoughts, just like Zhang Gang." Zhuang Bai chuckled, "Indeed, as long as your strength is sufficient, any rules can be ignored." Lin Mo went deeper, "Not only that, any rules are designed to serve the strong. Don't forget the original intention of the great competition." The original intention of the great competition. Chu Shang said in a muffled voice, "Isn't the great competition just to pick out the strongest?" Lin Mo shook his head, "That's right, to pick out the strongest. But not only the strongest in terms of strength, but also the luckiest." Zhuang Bai frowned, obviously he didn't fully understand Lin Mo's words. Chu Shang was the type to ask if he didn't understand, "What is the luckiest?" Zhuang Bai asked, "Luck is ethereal, how can it be measured?" Lin Mo said with a smile, "Luck seems ethereal, but there are actually ways to measure it. This round-robin tournament can reveal a part of it. Luck concerns destiny, concerns the future, and can also relate to success or failure in life and death." Chu Shang scratched his head, "Junior brother Lin, you're getting more and more mystical." Zhuang Bai also seemed to understand but not fully. Although the two were already little divine sovereigns, their level was still not high enough. They were temporarily unable to understand such an ethereal thing as luck. Lin Mo also happened to come into contact with the law of fate by chance, and then he had a certain understanding of luck. Lin Mo said, "Senior brother Chu, senior brother Zhuang, you don't need to pay too much attention to luck. These are actually just some of my guesses, which may not be accurate. And even if it really exists, it is already destined, and it is difficult for human power to change, so we should just let it be." In the round-robin tournament, everyone's performance was seen and remembered. Each name was seen and remembered. These were all geniuses of the human race, all big figures with promising futures. A large amount of power of faith flew in from all directions, and everyone had their own fans. But what was even more anticipated was the 16-strong competition the next day. No one knew what form the 16-strong competition would take, whether it would also use a round-robin tournament. Lin Mo didn't want to guess anymore, he would know soon enough. A loud noise awakened the city of great competition, and everyone looked up and saw a huge projection. In the projection, the arena was moving, hundreds of arenas were intertwined and stacked together to form a three-dimensional world. This inverted triangular three-dimensional world had 3 layers. The bottom layer was composed of 10 arenas. The second layer was composed of 30 arenas, much larger than the bottom layer. The third layer, located at the top, was composed of 60 arenas, even larger. What's going on? Is this a new arena? Is today's final going to be held in such an arena? This has never happened before. Is it a new competition system rule? Countless people were discussing. Not only did the arena change, but the audience seats also changed. The audience seats were also combined with each other, turning into a large ring around the arena. Several divine sovereigns looked at the three-dimensional world in front of them. How are they planning to compete? It should be a new rule, no one knows exactly how to compete. The 4 domain lord adults should know, but they haven't shown up yet. Don't worry, according to convention, they will definitely be present before the final. Look, there are new changes in the arena. New changes did appear in the three-dimensional arena. Golden light flashed, and golden eagle tribes appeared. Flames were burning, and a large number of demons walked out from them. Silver light leapt, and the 3 silver race also appeared in droves. With the eyesight of divine sovereigns, they couldn't even tell for a while whether these alien races were real or fake. Whether they were real or constructed by the laws. Not only were others watching, but as the protagonists of this event, the 16 contestants were also watching this scene unfold. Immediately afterwards, an invisible force fell on the 16 of them, and the scene in front of them rippled like water. The picture changed from blurry to clear, and the 16 people had been teleported to the arena. They stood on a huge white square. In front of them were 5 high platforms. Among them, 4 high platforms are carved with different portraits, namely the azure dragon, white tiger, vermilion bird, and black tortoise, representing the 4 major star regions of the human race. Asking for flowers. The high platform in the middle is the most majestic, towering far above the other 4, with a giant city, a divine city, carved on it. On the 4 major star region platforms, stand 1 person each, the domain lords of the 4 major star regions. On the central divine city platform, also stands 1 person, but this person's appearance is blurred and cannot be seen clearly. Other shore realm, Lin Moyu thought in his heart. The finals of the 4-star region competition, not only will the domain lords of the 4 major star regions appear, but even a powerhouse of the other shore realm has come. Old Lin's gaze swept over everyone, and except for Lin Moyu, everyone felt as if their bodies had been cut countless times by swords, and they ached all over. Everyone was awe-stricken. This powerhouse was incredibly terrifying. If he wanted to kill them, he wouldn't even need to lift a finger, a single glance would be enough. A deep voice slowly rang out. Now, I announce the rules for the first stage of the finals. In this triangular world, there are 3 layers, and you are currently on the 3rd layer. Each layer has 16 stels and 16 tokens. You must find the tokens, then find the stels corresponding to the tokens, and use the tokens to activate the stels to advance to the next layer. The 2nd layer and the 1st layer are the same. Only those who pass the 1st layer are qualified to participate in the 2nd stage of the competition. Also, all restrictions from the previous battles are now completely lifted. You can freely use magical treasures and freely use spells. You can find the tokens yourself, or you can snatch them from others. The 1st stage is limited to 10 days. This world is very dangerous, please take care. As the voice fell, the other shore realm powerhouse waved his hand. The formation rumbled into operation, and everyone felt a blur before their eyes, already leaving the square and finding themselves in the wilderness. Lin Moyu did not act immediately. He looked up at the formation in the sky, sensing the subtle movements coming from the formation and the space. This world appears to be composed of 70 arena fields, each arena field having a diameter of no more than 100,000 kilometers, and when combined, it is not much larger. For a little god venerate, a few million kilometers is nothing. But the reality is not like that at all. Under the effect of the formation, the space has changed. The arena field is only the external appearance, the true size can no longer be measured by the size of the arena field. In Lin Moyu's feeling, this world is very, very large, far exceeding a life-star system. To find the stels and the corresponding tokens within such a large area is not easy. Chapter 1527. Saint Venerate is on equal footing with him. Without restrictions, the excitement of the competition will increase linearly. Among the top 16, except for Lin Moyu, all are little god venerates. The methods of the little god venerates are not comparable to before. One by one, skeleton god warriors appeared beside Lin Moyu, transforming into streams of light and rushing in all directions. The light speed lich appeared on Lin Moyu's shoulder, bringing a light speed effect to the skeletons. The first step is to let the skeletons scout the way. At the same time, he can also use the undead vision to view the specific situation of this world. Lin Moyu himself did not move, but was thinking about the rules he had just learned. There are not many pitfalls in this rule, but there is also some hidden information. The rules do not specify how many tokens each person can obtain. If someone obtains 2 tokens on the 3rd layer and goes to the 2nd layer, then someone on the 3rd layer will inevitably be eliminated. In addition, there are only 10 days, and within 10 days, some people may not find the tokens and the corresponding stels. 880. According to this calculation, someone will inevitably be eliminated in this stage. Luck and strength are indispensable. Lin Moyu has already realized the essence of the first stage of the competition. It tests both strength and luck. Lin Moyu even thought of deeper things. He wondered if the human race's higher-ups were doing something that required someone with extremely strong luck to complete. Lin Moyu released tens of thousands of skeleton god warriors. Just for exploration, 10,000 skeleton god warriors are already enough. In Lin Moyu's view, 10,000 skeleton god warriors are nothing, just a drop in the bucket. But in the eyes of others, 10,000 skeleton god warriors are already very amazing. Goodness, the number of Lin Moyu's summons is also amazing. Tens of thousands, this can form an army. I don't know how strong their combat power is. Now that his strength has recovered, his summons should be stronger than before. He is only at the 4th rank of God King. No matter how strong his summons are, they can't be that strong. Lin Moyu is in trouble this time. His opponents are all little god venerates, and he is the only one at the 4th rank of God King. Yes, when everyone's strength was suppressed, Lin Moyu didn't have to be afraid of them. Now I see he is going to have big trouble. Everyone has their own opinions, but the similar opinion is that Lin Moyu is going to have trouble. After all, now that the realm restrictions have been lifted, how can a 4th rank God King deal with little god venerates? Qing Xiaoxiao was also watching the finals. She waved her small fist and shouted loudly, "Sister, go! Kill Lin Moyu, kill Dongfang Zi, and win the championship." In the arena, the 4 domain lords stood on the high platform and smiled at each other. The domain lord of the Azure Dragon Star region is named Yi Qingshan, and like Zhu Tian, he is at the peak of God Venerate. He looked at Zhu Tian with a smile. "Zhu Lao-san, can that Lin Moyu from your star region win the championship this time?" Zhu Tian was full of confidence and said decisively, "It must be him." The domain lord of the Black Tortoise Star region is named Wu Da, and he is the most burly of the 4. He said in a low voice, "That's not necessarily true. Shui Zilan from my Black Tortoise Star region is not easy to deal with either." The domain lord of the White Tiger Star region is the only girl among the 4, and she is somewhat beautiful. She comes from the Bai family of the Divine City and is named Bai Binger. Bai Binger giggled, "If it weren't for Lin Mohan breaking through to God Venerate, how could you have gotten the first spot?" Wu Da said in a deep voice, "Before, due to the suppression of the realm, Zilan's strength was less than 1/10 of what it could be. Now that there are no restrictions, haha." Zhu Tian snorted lightly, "Who isn't?" Yi Qingshan snorted coldly, not convinced by the words of the 2. The 4 of them glared at each other, none of them convinced. Bai Binger giggled twice, then suddenly looked at the other Shore Realm powerhouse on the central tower. "Lord Shu, what do you say?" This Lord Shu's voice was low. "Saint Venerate is on equal footing with Lin Moyu." The faces of the 4 changed at the same time. Zhu Tian instinctively felt that it was impossible. What was the status of Saint Venerate? How could he be on equal footing with Lin Moyu? Could there be some hidden information that he didn't know? Bai Binger's beautiful face looked a little stiff. "Lord Shu, you're not joking, are you?" This Lord Shu glanced at her. This old man never jokes. How could he, a dignified Other Shore Realm powerhouse, joke? Even if he wanted to joke, he wouldn't joke with a god Venerate. Bai Binger was bored, but she didn't dare to be angry. She began to estimate Lin Moyu's true identity in her heart. How could a small god king be on equal footing with Saint Venerate? There must be a hidden story. Wu Da smoothed things over. Anyway, we'll know by watching, but now it seems that Lin Moyu is indeed very good. Yi Qingshan nodded, he is indeed a talent. The cultivators of the Black Tortoise Star region have three major characteristics. First, their defense is strong. Second, they are good at refining magical treasures. Puppets are also one of the magical treasures. And third, they have some special summoners. Shui Zilan has all three. Not only is her own defense strong, but she is also good at refining weapons, and she has refined a large number of puppets for herself. At the same time, she is also a summoner. During the Ring Mountain continent, due to restrictions, she could only use puppets at the True God realm. Initially, with the advantage of the puppets, she gained a lot of points, once ranking third. But later, because of the severe loss of puppets, her ranking gradually fell. Now, without restrictions, she can use more powerful puppets. She released thousands of puppets at the 6th rank of God King, exploring like Lin Moy. This kind of competition is extremely beneficial to her. Among the top 16, there is also a cultivator from the Xuanwu Star territory, but he is not a summoner, nor is he good at puppets. The situation of other people is similar, they can only rely on their own strength and luck to find. Currently, this final is most beneficial to Lin Moy and Shui Zilan. The skeleton god warriors sent by Lin Moy quickly obtained a lot of information. There are all kinds of terrains in this world. This is an extremely realistic world. From the pictures I just saw, there are not many alien races in the 3rd layer, and the alien races are mainly concentrated in the 2nd and 1st layers. Our main purpose in the 3rd layer is to find tokens and stels. Tokens and stels must have traces to follow, and will not be randomly thrown in one place. Lin Moy was analyzing, and the skeletons sent back new information. The skeletons found a tribe belonging to the Three Silver clan. The scale of this tribe is not small, with at least tens of thousands of Three Silver clan people living in it. The tribe is divided into 3 parts, with silver snakes, silver dogs, and silver herons living in their respective parts. The undead vision did not see their souls. These alien races are simulated by the laws, they do not really exist. In this way, the role of the undead vision in checking souls is greatly reduced. But the impact is not significant. The tribe is shrouded in a formation, with brilliant silver light on the formation, which belongs to the Three Silver Clans formation and is very different from the human race's formation. In the tribe, there stand 3 Silver Clan soldiers, and the entire tribe is in a state of strict protection. Several skeleton gods flew high thousands of kilometers away from the tribe to check. Lin Moy connected to the vision of the skeletons. Although the undead vision cannot check souls, it still has unparalleled advantages. The formation basically does not work on the undead vision. Lin Moy saw the situation in the tribe through the formation. In the world composed of gray and white, there is a gray stone tablet that is particularly conspicuous. Found it. Lin Moy's heart moved, and the skeleton god warriors quickly crushed over. Chapter 1528. If you want to know, go ask Zhu the boss. Unable to see the soul, and separated by a formation, it is impossible to judge the opponent's strength. But it doesn't matter, you'll know after a fight. After the realm was no longer suppressed, Lin Moy's realm returned to the 4th rank of God King. The combat power of the skeleton god warriors also soared, reaching the 7th rank of God King. As the vanguard, it is completely sufficient. The friction between bones made a terrifying cracking sound, wandering in this quiet world. Thousands of skeleton god warriors rushed to the formation like streamers, and slashed with their axes. The formation twisted under the axe, but it was unexpectedly strong and was not cut through at once. The 3 Silver Clan in the formation were suddenly attacked and reacted quickly. The formation flashed, and attacks penetrated from the formation, landing on the skeleton god warriors. The formation is external and not internal. The attacks inside can penetrate out, but the outside cannot penetrate in. Lin Moy has rich experience in group operations and is not surprised by this. The attacks of the 3 Silver Clan are not strong, only at the level of the 7th rank of God King. Hitting the skeleton god warriors, at most, can only cause them some injuries. With a thought, more than 100 skeleton gods flew out and rushed to the battlefield as streamers. Thousands of kilometers away, powerful sword energy has swept in. The sword energy bombarded the formation, and the distorted formation burst on the spot. The sword energy shattered the formation and also killed a large number of 3 Silver Clan people. The skeleton god warriors killed in, slashing anyone they saw. The 3 Silver Clan tribe counterattacked frantically, the silver barks emitted bursts of sound waves, and silver lights fell from the sky, bright and beautiful. The silver snakes rolled up, and their long tails lashed wildly like whips, and many skeleton god warriors were blown away. The attacks of the silver herons are mainly concentrated on their mouths. Their mouths are sharper than the magic weapons of the God King realm, and they can directly pierce the bones of the skeleton god warriors. The human race formation not only simulates the 3 Silver Clan, but also simulates their attack methods. The 3 Silver Clan tribe has a large number of people, but instead surrounded the skeleton god warriors. The skeleton gods then arrived on the ground, waving their swords and slashing out dazzling sword lights, killing a large number of 3 Silver Clan people in a few strokes. The 3 Silver Clan will not leave corpses after death. They are virtual objects simulated by the formation. After death, the corpses directly disappear into light. With the addition of the skeleton gods, this battle became one-sided. 100 skeleton gods comparable to the little god Venerable swept the entire tribe like a destructive force. By the time Lin Moi arrived unhurriedly, the entire tribe had been completely cleared and was empty, with only a 10-meter-high stone tablet standing in the center of the tribe. The stone tablet does not look special. A huge character is engraved on it, the ancient text of the origin. Lin Moi recognizes this word, 5. It means number 5. To activate this stone tablet, you need a token with the same number 5. Leaving 10 skeleton gods to guard here, he then released more skeletons to continue exploring this world. I saw a large number of alien races appearing before, it seems that they formed tribes. The stone tablet appeared in the tribe, where will the token appear? Outside the alien races, there seem to be some giant beasts. Are the giant beasts related to the token? Lin Moi felt that it was not impossible, but it was a pity that he had not found it yet. On the other side, Shui Zealand had just cleared a tribe of the Golden Eagle clan. The Golden Eagle clan tribe has a small number of people, only about 1,000 members, and each member's combat power is around the 6th rank of God King, which is equivalent to her puppets. However, with her little god Venerable here, cooperating with the puppets, it was not difficult to clear it. Shui Zealand also found a stone tablet, numbered 10. Shui Zealand does not recognize this word, but it does not matter. She remembers the word in her heart and knows that she is looking for the corresponding symbol. Dongfangzi had just finished a great battle, and he stood in a ruin. This small fortress belonging to the demon clan was just destroyed by him. All the demons inside were killed. In the fortress, a stone tablet numbered 6 stood among them. Among the top 16, almost everyone has found the corresponding tribal fortress and discovered the stone tablet. Except for Lin Moi and Shui Zealand, other people's battles require a little effort. After all, they are all alone, unlike them who can be so relaxed and comfortable. Even Lin Moi himself did not do anything. The crowd outside the arena seemed to have a new understanding of Lin Mo's skeletons. The power of the skeleton divine generals exceeded everyone's expectations. Based on the battles of other lesser divine sovereigns, it could be inferred that the strength of the enemies simulated by the formation was generally between the 6th and 7th ranks of divine kings. From this, when people tried to estimate the strength of Lin Mo's skeletons, they were shocked to discover that the skeleton divine generals also possessed the battle prowess of lesser divine sovereigns. 100 lesser divine sovereign level summons, and it was still unknown whether this was Lin Mo's limit, or whether he could summon even more and stronger ones. This discovery caused an uproar among everyone. How can we fight this? Each one is a lesser divine sovereign, 100 lesser divine sovereigns, isn't this just crushing others to death? I feel like Lin Mo alone is enough to take on the other 15 people. You can't say that, the gap between lesser divine sovereigns is still very large, especially like Qing Fei and Dongfangzi, their strength is almost comparable to divine sovereigns. The 4 domain lords also saw this scene and were extremely curious about Lin Mo's battle prowess. They all looked at Zhu Tian, who shook his head and said, "Don't look at me, Lin Mo has been in the Vermilion Bird battlefield for the past few years, I don't know. If you want to know, ask Zhu the Elder, he knows." Zhu Tian immediately pushed everything to Zhu Qiwu, anyway, it was none of his business. Bai Binger scoffed, ask Zhu Qiwu. Forget it, I don't want to make myself uncomfortable. Wu Da and Yi Qingshan also had similar expressions, they seemed to be a little afraid of Zhu Qiwu. Zhu Tian smiled, keep watching, you'll know as you keep watching. In fact, he was also very curious about Lin Mo's strength. And he had asked Zhu Qiwu, but Zhu Qiwu didn't say it clearly. Lin Mo had mentioned it on his own initiative, but he didn't say it too clearly either. Anyway, against lesser divine sovereigns, Lin Mo said he felt no pressure at all. As the area explored by the skeleton divine warriors grew larger, new discoveries were finally made. On top of a high mountain, a golden beast was entrenched. It had the body of a snake and the head of a lion, with golden scales reflecting dazzling golden light. From a distance, one could see its blood-red giant tongue, with barbs on it. Its teeth were sharper than magic weapons, and it looked extremely ferocious. It was 10,000 meters long, and the gas it spewed out turned into black clouds, scattering on the ground and corroding the earth into huge holes. The alien races simulated by the formation had no life force, no soul, but they had pressure. Lin Mo felt its pressure, the unique pressure of a lesser divine sovereign. A lesser divine sovereign realm beast. Lin Mo didn't care, with a thought, 100 skeleton divine generals turned into streams of light and pounced over. Counting the 10 skeleton divine generals guarding the stone tablet, Lin Mo had already summoned 110 skeleton divine generals. Although this was just a drop in the bucket, Lin Mo felt it was enough, there was no need to expose too much information to the public eye. The giant beast discovered the skeleton divine generals from afar and let out a roar. Dark clouds immediately flew over, sprinkling corrosive raindrops on the skeleton divine generals. The raindrops landed on the skeleton divine generals, making a sizzling sound and rising yellow gas. The skeleton divine generals ignored these raindrops, the slight damage was shared by the undead legion, and there was not much that could really hurt them. The sword energy was pure white and majestic, spanning thousands of miles, engulfing the earth. Chapter 1529. Could not wish for someone to offer themselves. The sword energy was incomparably bright, illuminating the earth. The pure white light seemed to carry exuberant vitality, but that was just the appearance, the inside was the power of boundless destruction. Each skeleton divine general was like a lesser divine sovereign. Perhaps they didn't have as many methods as a lesser divine sovereign, or earth-shattering spells, but their attack power was not weak at all. 100 skeleton divine generals simultaneously unleashed sword energy, the powerful destructive force interwoven was difficult for even a lesser divine sovereign of the same level to resist. In the majestic sword energy, the high mountain collapsed, and the giant beast wailed. The giant beast was torn apart in the sword energy, its golden scales shattered, and blood splattered. The formation simulates it very realistically. The giant beast's various expressions were no different from the real world. A giant beast in the lesser divine sovereign realm had extremely vigorous vitality. It flew out against the sword energy, pouncing towards the skeleton divine generals. The giant beast was very fast, instantly crossing thousands of miles and appearing in front of the skeleton divine generals. Its whole body was tattered, with bloodstains and holes everywhere, and most of its golden scales had shattered. Its huge body became its most powerful weapon, ramming into the skeleton divine generals. With a loud bang, the earth shook, and the whole world was trembling. More than a dozen skeleton divine generals were knocked away. It opened its huge mouth and spewed out corrosive mist, shrouding a group of skeleton divine generals, while also shaking its head to biting several other skeleton divine generals. It used force with its teeth, trying to bite the skeleton divine generals into pieces. The skeleton divine generals were extremely sturdy all over, not something it could easily bite to pieces. The skeleton divine generals that had been knocked away flew back, wielding sharp bone swords, densely slashing at the giant beast. With each sword, a large piece of flesh would be cut off from the giant beast. The skeleton divine generals shrouded in corrosive mist also rushed out, they looked unscathed. They also raised and lowered their swords, cutting off large pieces of flesh from the giant beast. In the blink of an eye, there was no good flesh left on the giant beast, its bones were completely exposed, and blood fell like a waterfall, staining the earth red, looking extremely bloody. The formation seemed to even simulate the bloody smell, Lin Mo could smell it from a great distance. Lin Mo couldn't help but frown, this bloody smell seems too normal. The bloody smell was not a real smell, but a feeling from the soul level. The blood of a lesser divine sovereign-level beast contained vast laws, and the bloody smell would spread to all directions of the great world along the ubiquitous law lines. The giant beast wailed constantly, and the bloody smell became heavier and heavier. Lin Mo felt something was wrong, it was too real. Even if the formation simulated it very realistically, one could still see the difference between it and reality to some extent. Apart from not having a soul, if one looked carefully, there would be differences in other places as well. But the giant beast in the lesser divine sovereign realm in front of him seemed to be no different from a real giant beast. Lin Mo's heart stirred, and he switched to undead vision. A scorching and huge soul fire was burning fiercely there. No wonder it's so real. Lin Mo finally understood that the giant beast in front of him was not a formation simulation, but a real giant beast. The 4-star region competition adopted a combination of virtual and real methods, that is, there were fake simulations by the formation, and there were also real giant beasts. Seeing this, Lin Mo realized that undead vision had come into use again. He could use undead vision to find those giant beasts, and then kill them. If it's really as I thought, and the tokens are obtained by defeating giant beasts, then I may be able to obtain multiple tokens. Eliminating a few people doesn't seem to be difficult. If he could get multiple tokens, Lin Mo felt that he would have the initiative in this competition in his hands. Thinking of this, Lin Mo no longer wanted to entangle with this giant beast. With a thought, another 100 skeleton divine generals appeared, joining the battle. Sword energy crisscrossed on the earth, and the giant beast screamed incessantly. Originally it had completely fallen into a disadvantage, but now it fell to the bottom. Just 1 minute later, the giant beast was killed. When it breathed its last, its body was already torn to pieces, blood and flesh splattered across the earth, a truly tragic sight. After its death, a beam of light descended from the sky, enveloping the earth. The giant beast's corpse transformed into specks of light and vanished, the earth returning to its original state in the blink of an eye, while a golden token appeared. As expected, tokens can be obtained by killing giant beasts. Lin Mo Yu picked up the token, A.San, character engraved on it. This was the token corresponding to steel number 3. Before he could put the token away, suddenly a beam of intense light shot straight into the sky, illuminating a large area. An invisible wave spread out, and a large expanse of light appeared in the sky. Lin Mo Yu looked at the sky and noticed a pillar of light above his head, reaching straight into the sky, connected to the formation. This is a guiding beacon. Lin Mo Yu immediately understood what was happening. This was similar to the situation in the ancient battlefield of the small world. When he obtained the origin rune, something similar had happened. One could imagine that everyone on the field now knew that he had obtained a token and could use the guiding beacon to find his exact location. Lin Mo Yu didn't feel anything about this, he couldn't wait for someone to come and find him, so he could manually eliminate them. He once again released 1,000 skeleton god warriors and began searching the field for traces of giant beasts. At the same time as he obtained the token, the remaining 15 people simultaneously received a reminder from the Human Emperor Network. Contestant number 1 has obtained a token, the formation has activated the guiding beacon, you can follow the guiding beacon to find contestant number 1. Everyone saw the beacon on the formation, following the beacon would lead to Lin Mo Yu. Dongfang Zi looked at the sky, Lin Mo Yu, you're really fast. Let you be smug for a while, now is not the time for our big battle, sooner or later I will have a good fight with you and let you know who is number 1. Dongfang Zi's eyes flashed with anger, not at all convinced. Qing Fei received the message, glanced at the sky, and stopped paying attention. Her attention was focused on a giant beast 10,000 meters away, and she raised her cyan longsword. Shui Jilan came to the edge of a lake, her eyes fixed on the calm surface. Xiao Hong, you said there's a big guy inside, right? Sitting on her shoulder was a crimson-red sprite, the size of a fist. The sprite said in a language that only Xiao Jilan could understand, yes, a very, very big guy. Xiao Jilan revealed a cute smile, how big? The Xiao Hong sprite stretched out both hands and gestured, as big as master. Xiao Huang knew how Jilan understood, there was a giant beast at the small god venerate realm in the lake. She muttered to herself, the steel is in the tribe, the token should be on the giant beast. Lin Mo Yu has already obtained a token, Xiao Hong sensed the aura of battle just now, it should have been between Lin Mo Yu and the giant beast. Lin Mo Yu's combat power is indeed very strong, the small god venerate beast was easily killed. But I'm not bad either. Her eyes gleamed, and she formed rune after rune with her hands. 3 puppets appeared beside her. The puppets were like swordsmen, with long swords on their backs, about 5 meters tall, with extraordinary power. Shui Ji-lan activated the 3 puppets, and red lights flickered in the puppets' eyes. Shui Ji-lan frowned slightly, as if enduring some pressure deleted. Controlling the puppets also had corresponding requirements. With her strength, simultaneously controlling 3 small god venerate realm puppets was already the limit. It begins. With a soft shout, Shui Ji-lan pointed her finger, and the laws erupted violently. The lake surface exploded, and a behemoth rushed out of the lake. Chapter 1530 suggests you don't go looking for her trouble. The skeleton god warriors were running quickly on the field. With the speed of the light speed lich, they were very fast. Soon they found the second giant beast. Even though they were thousands of miles apart, the soul flames of the small god venerate realm were still eye-catching. After finding the giant beast, the skeleton god generals quickly rushed over to besiege the giant beast. The 200 skeleton god generals possessed combat power that crushed the giant beast. By the time Lin Moyu arrived, this small god venerate realm giant beast had already been torn to pieces. The light of the formation was enveloping the earth. The corpse had already turned into light. Lin Moyu hadn't even seen the true appearance of the giant beast. The earth was restored under the power of the formation, erasing the traces of battle, leaving only a token. Lin Moyu picked up the token, which happened to be the number 5, corresponding to steel number 5. Good luck. The number 5 steel and token had been found. He could go to the second level at any time. But he didn't plan to leave just yet. Now that he had found the second token, it meant that at least one person was about to be eliminated. If he could get more tokens, more people would be eliminated, and he could even control who was eliminated. Taking control of the initiative, why not do it? Just as Lin Moyu obtained the second token, everyone received another prompt from the Human Emperor Network. Contestant number 1 has obtained the second token. The formation has activated the guiding beacon. You can follow the guiding beacon to find contestant number 1. Everyone 817 was stunned for a moment. Dongfang Zi stopped in his tracks, in disbelief. How is that possible? How could he be so fast? No, I must find the token as soon as possible. I can't be compared to him. Qing Fei, who was fighting the small god venerate giant beast, felt a thud in her heart. The second token, so to speak, someone is about to be eliminated. The sword momentum became even more fierce, unleashing earth-shattering offensives. Shui Ji-lan looked at the dying giant beast not far away. Lin Moyu's speed is really fast. Am I really going to lose? Each of the small god venerates realized that Lin Moyu was truly powerful. At the same time, they also knew that someone would inevitably be eliminated in this layer. Wanting to snatch the token from Lin Moyu's hands was almost impossible. Now there were 2,000 skeleton god warriors searching everywhere for tribes and tokens, and 200 skeleton god generals were adapting to the situation, going wherever they were needed. Soon, the third token was also obtained by Lin Moyu. This was a token numbered 1. Then even the tribe fortress was discovered, and Lin Moyu found more stels. The aliens in the tribe had already been cleared out. Others were not like Lin Moyu, who could leave people to watch the stels. Outside the arena, countless eyes were watching the competition. Lin Moyu's performance fell into their eyes, and many people showed excited expressions. Lin Moyu has obtained 3 tokens. He's too strong. He's definitely the champion of this competition. He's still looking for new tokens. Each additional token represents one person being eliminated. Lin Moyu completely dominates this competition. Lin Moyu seems to be going too far. Will those who haven't found a token unite to deal with Lin Moyu? Very likely. I think Lin Moyu should know when to stop. Stop what? It should be like this. It's best to get all the tokens and solve the problem once and for all. What if those people join forces? Lin Moyu has 200 small god venerate realm summons. They may not be able to beat him even if they join forces. Everyone had different opinions. Everyone had their own ideas. The 4 domain lords were also watching the competition. Zhu Tian didn't say anything, but the expression on his face betrayed his mood. He was in a very good mood. Lin Moyu's performance was too outstanding, far surpassing everyone else. Bai Binger saw that the contestants in her star field hadn't found a single token yet, and was a little anxious. These guys, why are they so stupid? Wu Da's mood was much better. Shui Ji-lan was about to obtain a token. As long as she could get a token, then there would be no problem entering the second level. Wu Da chuckled. Don't worry, what's coming will come. Bai Binger glared at him. You little bastard, are you itching for a beating? Wu Da smiled at Bai Binger, a good man doesn't argue with a woman. Yi Qingshan, the domain lord of the Azure Dragon Starfield, also had a bad look on his face at this time. Although Qing Fei was about to obtain a token, the others hadn't even seen a shadow of one. If this continued, it was possible that only one person from the Azure Dragon Star region (CEAB) would be able to enter the second level. It should be known that the Azure Dragon Star region's participants occupied 4 spots in the top 16. If 3 of them were eliminated in the third level, it would be quite embarrassing. However, he didn't say anything, only watched quietly. At least there was a guarantee, which was better than Bai Binger from the White Tiger Star region. Unconsciously, he glanced at Bai Binger, a look that made Bai Binger feel extremely displeased. What's most important to a divine sovereign? Face. Bai Binger gritted her silver teeth. It's all Lin Mohan's fault, insisting on advancing to divine sovereign now. Couldn't she have delayed it? After the competition, I'll have a good talk with her. The Shu family's ancestor, who hadn't spoken, suddenly said, I suggest you don't go looking for trouble with her. Her advancement to divine sovereign this time was facilitated by the sacred sovereign, Old Lin, and Madame Yu together. Bai Binger's eyes widened, and she froze on the spot. Not just her, the other 3 were also stunned. What was this about? When would existences at the other shore realm care about a small divine sovereign? Moreover, 3 other shore realm experts worked together to help Lin Mohan become a divine sovereign. Just what was Lin Mohan's identity? The Shu family's ancestor continued, Sword Orchid Divine Sovereign is about to step into the other shore. This was another heavy blow. Not only did Lin Mohan have 3 other shore realm experts backing her, but her master was also about to become another shore realm expert. This identity seemed even more noble than Bai Binger's. Bai Binger forced a smile. The talk I mentioned really is just a talk. I'll invite her for a drink. The Shu family's ancestor hummed in agreement, that's for the best. Among the 4 domain lords, Zhu Tian knew the most inside information. He knew that Lin Muhan and Lin Moyu were siblings. Just now, the Shu family's ancestor also said that the sacred sovereign and Lin Moyu were on equal terms. Now, hearing about Lin Mohan's matter, Zhu Tian couldn't help but make some guesses. It's not that Lin Mohan has a big face, nor is it that Sword Orchid Divine Sovereign is about to advance to the other shore. It's more likely that Lin Moyu has a big face. Because of Lin Moyu's relationship, that's why the Sacred Sovereign and the others helped Lin Mohan advance to Divine Sovereign. What's so special about Lin Moyu? Why is this happening? He had asked Zhu Qiwu about related questions before, but Zhu Qiwu didn't reveal a single word, so Zhu Tian could only give up. In the arena, 2 more guideposts appeared. The 2 guideposts appeared almost simultaneously, with no distinction between front and back. One guidepost pointed to Qing Fei, and the other pointed to Shui Zilan. These 2 had also obtained tokens. This made others even more anxious, and the sense of urgency further increased. 5 of the 16 tokens had already appeared. Lin Moyu had obtained 3, Qing Fei and Shui Zilan had each obtained 1, and there were still 11 tokens left, but there were still 13 contestants. The competition became even more intense. Dongfang Zi crossed over tens of millions of kilometers and finally saw a giant beast. The moment he saw the giant beast, Dongfang Zi already understood how to obtain a token. Wei Bowen also finally found a giant beast. Zhuang Bai and Chu Shang joined forces, locked onto a target, and were advancing rapidly. Chapter 1531. No need for useless talk, just take action. The Human Emperor Network's prompts appeared again and again, each time accompanied by a guiding beacon, telling you who had obtained the token and where they were located. In just one day, 15 of the 16 tokens had appeared. The last one was about to appear as well. Lin Moyu had already found the location of the last token, and the skeleton divine general was rushing over. He had 6 tokens in his hands out of the 16 tokens, and soon the 7th token would fall into his hands. Once he had 7 tokens in hand, Lin Moyu only needed to find the corresponding stone tablet and teleport to the second level area. At that time, 6 contestants would be unable to enter the second level and would be directly eliminated. However, Lin Moyu felt a little strange. Zhuang Bai and Chu Shang had not obtained tokens. With their strength, dealing with small divine sovereign realm giant beasts was not a problem. Moreover, with Zhuang Bai's intelligence, it was impossible not to find the correct way to obtain a token. Suddenly, a guiding beacon disappeared. At the same time, the Human Emperor Network's prompt rang in everyone's ears. Contestant number 2 has entered the second level. Qing Fei entered the second level. Lin Moyu was not surprised. Taking the lead to enter the second level could gain an advantage. He could have left long ago, but now he still had something to deal with. Only 10 minutes after Qing Fei entered the second level, another guiding beacon disappeared. Contestant number 11 has entered the second level. Shui Zilan also entered the second level. Shui Zilan was numbered 11, ranked towards the back in the top 16, and her soul was not considered strong. However, her special ability allowed her to thrive in this competition. Dongfang Zi watched this scene, like a meteor streaking across the sky. He quickly found the corresponding stone tablet. Lin Moyu, now is not the time for us to fight. Leaving behind a sentence that only he could hear, Dongfang Zi activated the stone tablet and entered the second level. Contestant number 3 has entered the second level. Contestant number 8 has entered the second level. People were constantly finding stone tablets and entering the second level, and fewer people remained on the third level. But Lin Moyu still didn't move. The 4 domain lords found it strange, and Wu Da murmured, what does he want to do? He should enter the second level as soon as possible to seize the opportunity. While she was speaking, she also looked towards Zhu Tian. At this moment, his mood had improved. A contestant from the White Tiger Star had obtained a token and had already entered the second level. In the top 16, the White Tiger Star region only had 2 people in total. Being able to have one person enter the second level was already considered meeting the basic requirements. In contrast, the Azure Dragon Star region occupied 4 seats in the top 16, but only Qing Fei had entered the second level. Proportionally, it was not as good as his White Tiger Star region. Zhu Tian said, he's looking for someone. Looking for someone. Indeed, at this time, the skeletons released by Lin Moyu did look like they were looking for someone. More than 2,000 skeletons were flying through the arena. Yi Qingshan said in a low voice, he's looking for Zhuang Bai, number 4, and Chu Shang, number 5. Zhu Tian said, he and Zhuang Bai and Chu Shang are friends. Wu Da chuckled, someone is going to be unlucky. Wu Da was in an exceptionally good mood. The 2 contestants from the Black Tortoise Star region had already entered the second level. While speaking, his gaze fell on Yi Qingshan. Not only him, but Zhu Tian and Bai Binger were also looking at Yi Qingshan. Among the 7 people remaining on the third level, 3 were from the Azure Dragon Star region, 3 from the Vermilion Bird Star region, and 1 from the White Tiger Star region. However, all 7 tokens were in Lin Moyu's hands. If they wanted to enter the second level, they could only obtain tokens from Lin Moyu. Zhuang Bai and Chu Shang followed the guiding beacon and flew towards Lin Moyu's location. Behind them, 3 contestants from the Azure Dragon Star region were chasing after them. Lin Moyu finally discovered Zhuang Bai and Chu Shang, learned about their situation, and turned into a stream of light to rush towards them. Soon, the 2 sides met, and Chu Shang said loudly, Junior brother Lin, I finally found you. Lin Moyu scanned the 2 of them, how did you suffer such serious injuries? At this moment, Zhuang Bai and Chu Shang were in bad shape, heavily injured. Especially Chu Shang, whose abdomen had 4 fist-sized holes, pierced straight through. Blood was still flowing, and his internal organs had long been shattered. The wounds were covered with sharp claws, preventing the flesh from healing. Although for a god king, the physical body wasn't important. But a severely injured physical body would result in a significant loss of combat power. Zhuang Bai was also injured, but he looked a little better than Chu Shang. While Lin Moyu spoke, he ejected 2 laws, the law of immortality carrying vast life force, landing on the 2 of them. The life force quickly expelled the foreign laws from Chu Shang's body and began to heal the wounds. Zhuang Bai said, we were ambushed. Chu Shang looked at the 3 people who were catching up from behind, 3 bastards, taking advantage of the fact that I was dealing with the giant beast, they suddenly ambushed me. But they didn't gain anything either, in the end they didn't get the token. Zhuang Bai quickly explained the situation. The 2 of them found a giant beast, and after a fierce battle, they were about to kill the giant beast, but they were ambushed by 3 people from the Azure Dragon Star region. Request flowers. The Azure Dragon Star region's attack was the strongest among the 4 star regions. Under the sudden attack, Chu Shang was immediately severely injured, and Zhuang Bai was not spared either. However, the 2 of them did not give up and await death. They counterattacked with injuries, not letting the Azure Dragon Star region take advantage. Unexpectedly, at this time, a contestant from a divine city appeared, quickly killed the giant beast, and snatched the token. That person was very fast, and the people from the Azure Dragon Star region failed to catch up, and instead vented their anger on Zhuangbai and Chu Shang. Zhuangbai and Chu Shang were injured first, and there was one fewer person, so they were no match for the other side, and began to retreat. As the contestants entered the second level one by one, only Lin Moyu didn't leave. Zhuangbai also knew that Lin Moyu was looking for them, so he and Chu Shang came together to find Lin Moyu. They believed in Lin Moyu's ability. And the three people from the Azure Dragon Star region, needless to say, must also want to find Lin Moyu for the token. Now Lin Moyu had 7 tokens in his hand, as long as he could distribute them, they could also enter the second level. The 3 contestants from the Azure Dragon Star region shot over, and before they could stop, they shouted sharply, "Lin Moyu, hand over the token. If you don't hand over the token, don't even think about leaving today." Before they could finish speaking, their expressions suddenly changed drastically. Not good. Defend. A large number of skeletons appeared around Lin Moyu, surrounding them almost instantly. Then, the pure white and dazzling sword energy swallowed them. The attack was extremely fierce. 100 skeleton generals comparable to lesser god sovereigns attacked at the same time, and the sword energy engulfed them. Lin Moyu acted too quickly, not asking why at all, not even giving them a chance to speak. Having Zhuangbai and Chu Shang's words was enough, there was no need to say anything more to them. Screams rang out from within the sword energy. Immediately afterward, 3 azure dragons flew out, breaking through the sword energy and fleeing quickly. The 3 of them were instantly severely injured, covered in wounds. If they stayed any longer, they would surely die. Lin Moyu's heart stirred, and the skeleton generals quickly launched a pursuit. In the third level, there were still 200 skeleton generals wandering outside, and at this moment, they also joined the pursuit. Zhuangbai and Chu Shang stared blankly at this scene. A few seconds later, Chu Shang gave a thumbs up, "Junior brother Lin, you're awesome." Zhuangbai smiled, "Junior brother Lin always brings surprises. Just a small effort, 2 senior brothers, follow me." Lin Moyu once again ejected the law of immortality to heal the 2 of them, while leading them towards the nearest steel. Chapter 1532. Junior brother Lin, will you sell the token? The expressions of the 4 domain lords at this time were wonderful and varied. The most unsightly one was Yi Qingshan. The corners of his mouth twitched involuntarily, wanting to get angry, but there was nowhere to vent it. Lin Moyu's actions also determined the fate of the 3 contestants from the Azure Dragon Star region. It was impossible for them to have a chance to enter the second level. Bai Binger coughed lightly, "Actually, I think Lin Moyu is okay. If we discuss it properly, it's not impossible for him to give away 2 tokens." Seeing Yi Qingshan's ugly face, Bai Binger changed her statement again, "But it doesn't matter now, at least Qingfei succeeded. Doesn't my White Tiger Star region only have 1 as well? Everyone is about the same." Wu Da echoed Bai Binger's words, "That's right, having Qingfei alone is enough, there's no use in having more people." Hearing him say this, Yi Qingshan's face looked a little better. At least Qingfei was still there. Qingfei was very strong, and 1 person was enough to top their 3. Thinking like this, it seemed much better. Zhu, 607, Tian added fuel to the fire at this moment. It's indeed useless to have more people, anyway, the result is the same when encountering Lin Moyu. Yi Qingshan's face turned ugly again. Zhu Lao San, if you can't speak, then shut up. Zhu Tian was in a great mood at this moment and didn't bother to argue with Yi Qingshan. He felt that he was really showing off now. With Lin Moyu around, the 4-star region competition was stable. Bai Binger suddenly frowned, what is this guy going to do? Wu Da also noticed the abnormality. They saw that a cultivator from the White Tiger Star region was following Lin Moyu and his group. He used a special magic weapon to hide his figure, and Lin Moyu and others did not notice him. Only a little over a day after the start of the competition, Lin Moyu had already thoroughly understood most of the 3rd level. At least he knew the exact locations of the stels corresponding to 4 of the 7 tokens in his hand. He led Zhuangbai and Chu Shang to the nearest steel. At this time, Zhuangbai's injuries had fully healed, and Chu Shang's injuries had healed for the most part. Lin Moyu handed a corresponding token to Zhuangbai, "Senior brother Zhuang, see you on the second level." Zhuangbai hummed, "See you on the second level." Zhuangbai activated the token and teleported to the second level. Lin Moyu immediately led Chu Shang to another stele. He had already learned on the way that there was a God King realm magic weapon connecting Zhuangbai and Chu Shang. After they entered the second level, they could quickly reunite. Acting together would be much safer. Being ambushed once was enough, it wouldn't happen a second time. By the time they arrived at the second stele, Chu Shang's injuries had also fully recovered. Watching him teleport to the second level, Lin Moyu suddenly said to the side, "Senior brother, you've been following us all the way, if you have something to say, just say it to my face." A few seconds later, a certain place thousands of meters away, the space seemed to be pulled open like a curtain, and a person appeared. "Hello, junior brother Lin, my name is Hu Tian, number 18. Lin Moyu knew the resources of every contestant by heart, so he naturally knew Hu Tian. Hu Tian was from the White Tiger Star region, also a lesser god sovereign, with extraordinary combat power. In the competition to enter the top 16, he defeated a contestant with a lower number than himself and entered the top 16. In fact, he had been there for a long time, following all the way, and had not shown any malice from beginning to end. It was the same now, very polite, very courteous. Lin Moyu asked, "Senior brother Hu, you can just say what you want." Hu Tian scratched his head, a little embarrassed. "Junior brother Lin, I'm shamelessly asking you to buy a token from you." He was tall and burly, somewhat similar to Chu Shang, and also a bit honest. He used the word buy, instead of any other word. Buying something requires paying a corresponding price. Lin Moyu smiled and said, "Senior brother Hu, what price are you planning to offer?" Seeing that Lin Moyu didn't refuse, Hu Tian knew there was a chance. "I have a defensive magic weapon of the Divine King realm here. Although it's only mid-level Divine King, its effect is still pretty good." Lin Moyu shook his head. "I don't want magic weapons." Lin Moyu's vision was so high that magic weapons of the Divine King realm were not worth his attention. At the very least, it had to be a magic weapon of the Divine Lord realm. Seeing that Lin Moyu didn't want magic weapons, Hu Tian seemed a little disappointed. In his opinion, the most valuable thing he owned was this Divine King realm magic weapon. If it weren't for the ranking, he would have been reluctant to part with it. Just as he was feeling disappointed, Lin Moyu said, "Senior brother Hu should know a lot about the power of faith, right?" Hu Tian nodded instinctively. "I've done some research." Lin Moyu said, "How about this? I want a copy of information about the power of faith, including Senior brother Hu's understanding and insights on the power of faith, the more detailed the better." "That's it." Hu Tian couldn't believe it. Lin Moyu smiled and confirmed, "That's it." Hu Tian seemed even more embarrassed. "In that case, junior brother Lin is at a disadvantage. Actually, the information you want can be easily found when you arrive at the White Tiger Star region." "I know, but I just want it now," Lin Moyu said with a smile. "Alright, I'm taking advantage of you." Hu Tian took out a jade tablet, activated his soul power, and immediately engraved all his understanding of the power of faith inside. At the same time, he took out 2 more jade tablets, making a total of 3, and threw them all to Lin Moyu. "One of them is my own understanding, and the other 2 are information about the power of faith in the Divine King realm." Lin Moyu didn't suspect anything. After receiving the jade tablets, he kept them without checking them immediately. Instead, he threw a token to Hu Tian and pointed in a direction, saying, "In that direction, 2 million kilometers away, there is a stone tablet." Hu Tian took the token and thanked Lin Moyu excitedly, "Thank you, junior brother Lin." With the token, he could enter the second level without being eliminated here. Lin Moyu waved his hand. "It's just a fair trade. Senior brother Hu, you don't have to be so polite." Hu Tian said, "I understand. I owe junior brother Lin a favor. If junior brother Lin has time to come to the White Tiger Star region in the future, remember to look for me. I live in the Hu family in Star System No. 2. Hu Tian left with gratitude, and Lin Moyu also turned and flew towards another stone tablet. The 3 Azure Dragon Star region contestants who were being chased by the skeleton divine general suddenly received a notification. Open black lens bracket. Contestant number 1 has entered the second level, close black lens bracket. Immediately afterward, the skeleton divine generals collectively disappeared. "They're finally gone. I thought I was going to die here. How can Lin Moyu be so terrifying? Is he really only at the 4th level of the Divine King realm? The 3 of us are all lesser divine lords, yet we were chased to this extent." The 3 of them sighed, but fortunately, Lin Moyu had left. Contestant number 19 smiled bitterly and said, "Are we the only 3 people who were eliminated?" "No, there's also a guy from the White Tiger Star region, number 18, he didn't get a token either." At this time, the Human Emperor Network's reminder sounded again. Open black lens bracket. Contestant number 18 has entered the second level, close black lens bracket. The 3 were stunned and looked at each other. Then the scene in front of them changed, and when they came back to their senses, they had already returned to the Grand Competition City 1.9. For them, the competition was over. Although they entered the top 16, they were the last 3 in the top 16. The key was not fame, but embarrassment. They knew that the scene of them being chased by Lin Moyu had been seen by the entire human race. They had truly lost face. When they returned to the White Tiger Star region, they probably wouldn't have the face to go out for the next few decades. And there was also the matter with Domain Lord Yi Qingshan. They didn't know how they would get through it. Being reprimanded was inevitable, and they didn't know if they would be punished. The 3 of them were downcast and hid in their residence to heal their injuries. As Hu Tian finally entered the second level, the formation roared, and the arena in the third level instantly disintegrated. It turned into layers of high walls, wrapping up the last 2 levels. At the same time, everyone discovered that the competition screen had disappeared. No one could see the subsequent competition process. For a time, everyone raised questions, wondering what had happened. Chapter 1533, Closing the Projection, New Rules for the Second Level. For a time, the entire human race star region was raising questions, wanting to know what had happened. Why did the competition projection suddenly disappear? Soon, the Human Emperor Network gave everyone the answer. Open black lens bracket. All contestants please note, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. The competition has been temporarily suspended for projection. Anything you do next will not be known to others, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. You can freely exert all your strength without worrying about your information being leaked, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. The following will be an addition about the second level, please listen carefully, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. A powerful enemy leader will appear in the center of the second level, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. The one who kills the enemy leader can directly enter the first level and obtain an extremely powerful magic weapon, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. This powerful magic weapon can play a huge role in the next stage of the competition, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. There is only one enemy leader, and its strength is powerful. Please be careful, contestants, close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. In the second level, regardless of the reason for death or loss of the ability to continue fighting, you will be directly eliminated, close black lens bracket. Everyone listened to the newly added rules, and their hearts tightened. There was another way to get to the next level. Not only could they get to the next level, but they could also get a powerful magic weapon. Powerful magic weapons will play a huge role in the next stage of the competition. The 4 domain lords were still there above the arena. They could still see the entire process of the competition, which was also their special right. Apart from them, the other divine lords watching the competition could not see the specific situation of the competition at this moment. The Shu family's ancestors' majestic and deep voice sounded, "The 4 of you, watch your mouths." The 4 of them were startled, knowing that the next competition might really involve the secrets of the human race, and not just talk. Although they were domain lords, the real secrets of the human race were not in the 4 major star regions, but in the divine city. Some things, even they were not clear about. The 4 of them opened their eyes, intending to see what secrets there were. Yi Qingshan's depression at the moment was also swept away, and his eyes flickered with curiosity. This rule then became very attractive, and defeating the alien leader in the central area became the preferred option for many people. The rule stated that the alien leader would appear in the center of the second layer, but where exactly is the center of the second layer? They were on the second layer and could not determine the specific direction. Almost everyone didn't know whether they were closer to the edge or closer to the center. Obviously, the first person to reach the center would inevitably have an advantage. Dongfang Zi looked around, unable to distinguish the direction, and couldn't help but curse, "What a stupid rule." This kind of rule is also beneficial to Lin Moi. Wei Bowen was also secretly thinking at this moment, "Why do I feel that the Human Emperor Network is biased towards Lin Moi?" He could only think about such words, but didn't dare to say them out loud. Qing Fei then took out a jade magic weapon in the shape of a flying bird. With a thought, she said, "Go." The jade magic weapon shattered, exploding into thousands of flying bird phantoms, flying in all directions. Shui Zilan touched the red little elf on her shoulder. "Little Red, can you help me find the center point?" Little Red hummed twice, then flew into the air and disappeared with a whoosh. Its speed was comparable to that of a god Venerate. Zhuangbai and Chu Shang were lucky this time, as they were close to each other and quickly converged. Zhuangbai once again took out the jade eyeball magic weapon, installed it on his forehead, searched around, and determined the direction. Chu Shang asked, "Old Zhuang, are we going to kill the alien leader?" Zhuangbai shook his head, "No, we'll just look for spells and tokens." He knew his strength very well. Although he wasn't bad, there was still a gap between him and people like Dongfangzi and Qing Fei. They wouldn't be able to compete for killing the alien leader. On the contrary, while others were looking for the alien leader, they could find tokens and spells and enter the first layer as soon as possible. Lin Moi had already sent out skeleton god warriors to scout the way. The initial feedback was that the number and density of aliens simulated by the formation here far exceeded that of the third layer. Moreover, their combat power had also been improved. The strength of the aliens simulated by the formation had reached the 8th rank of God King. Another difference was that they had built small cities, forming the posture of an army. Lin Moi even felt that they would use battle formations. Ordinary skeleton god warriors were already difficult to deal with, so Lin Moi had to send out a large number of skeleton god generals to attack. The Human Emperor Network had stated that the projection had ended, and anything they did here could not be seen from the outside world. Since this was the case, Lin Moi had no scruples. Tens of thousands of skeleton god generals were dispatched, rampaging all the way like a destructive force, killing people and destroying cities. Tokens, spells, and alien leaders, Lin Moi didn't plan to let any of them go. Several more people would be eliminated in this layer. The rules say that the person who kills the alien leader will not only gain the right to directly enter the next layer, but also obtain a powerful magic weapon. But what standard is used to judge who killed the alien leader? What is the realm of the alien leader? Is it the peak of the little god Venerate, or a true god Venerate? Lin Moi pondered the rules. If 5 people attack the alien leader together, who will it be counted on? 520. Is it the first person to attack, the last person to complete the kill, or the person who caused the most damage? The rules didn't explain clearly. As long as it wasn't explained clearly, all kinds of possibilities existed. For safety's sake, Lin Moi thought of a safe way, which was not to let others come into contact with the alien leader. If he solved it alone, there would be no such problem. At the same time, the power to enter the next level, whether it takes effect immediately or allows him to control the time, this difference is also very large. He wanted to eliminate a few more people in this layer. Then he had to get some more tokens. At the same time, he also thought of Zhuangbai and Chu Shang. If he left, Zhuangbai and Chu Shang would probably be in trouble. After thinking about it, Lin Moi decided to take a two-pronged approach. Tokens must be snatched, and alien leaders must also be snatched. As for Zhuangbai and Chu Shang, it depends on their luck. Help as much as possible, but there's nothing he can do if he can't help. After all, it's just a competition, not a life and death battle. A small city was captured by the skeleton god generals, and all the aliens inside were killed. However, there was no steel inside. This was also one of the changes. Unlike the third layer, you could see from the outside whether there was a steel in the tribe. Now, you must break through the city to determine whether the steel exists. In addition, the city density here has increased dramatically, greatly increasing the difficulty of finding steles. It took a little over a day in the third layer. The range of the second layer has become smaller, but the time required will increase significantly, at least 3 or 4 days. Chapter 1534. Spirit Imitation Formation, Illusory and Real. Shui Zilan was fighting with 3 puppets at the Little God Venerate realm, and had just captured a city. The puppets at the Little God Venerate realm had already charged in, unstoppable. At this time, a red line appeared in the sky, and Little Red returned to Shui Zilan's shoulder, chirping a few times. Shui Zilan's face became very unsightly. He has so many summoned creatures at the Little God Venerate realm. Little Red found the central location, and also discovered Lin Moi's summoned creatures. Tens of thousands of skeleton god generals at the Little God Venerate realm were very terrifying. While shocked, Shui Zilan felt a sense of discouragement. How could she fight such an opponent? Looking at her own puppets, there were only 3 puppets at the little god venerate realm. There was no comparability at all. Qing Fei was in a similar situation to her. The birds scattered by the magic weapon became her eyes. Then she saw Lin Moi's skeleton god general army. Watching the skeleton god generals destroy cities like a destructive force, Qing Fei was shocked and numb. Her thoughts were similar to Shui Zilan's. This was impossible to fight. Suddenly she understood a little, why the Human Emperor Network stopped broadcasting. Was it to protect Lin Moi? It was not impossible. Qing Fei thought about it and decided not to compete for the alien leader in the center, but to find tokens and stels with peace of mind, and strive for second place with peace of mind. Anyway, she didn't expect first place. After continuously capturing 3 cities, Lin Moi finally saw the first stele. The stele only appeared after the aliens in the city were completely killed. This also confirmed his guess that here, the difficulty of finding stels and tokens has increased dramatically. The time required will also increase exponentially. But the first stage of time is only 10 days in total. You must reach the first layer within 10 days and complete the first token and stele task. This also tells everyone that they cannot waste too much time in the second layer. Even if you want to kill the alien leader in the center, you must first find the stele and token to leave a way out for yourself. But this rule is most beneficial to Lin Moi. Because the number of undead legions is large enough, he can take a 2-pronged approach, which has no impact on him. Looking at the number 9 engraved on the stele, the corresponding token is also numbered 9. In the end, it's still strength. As long as the strength is strong enough, even the rules will become favorable. Or rather, the rules made by the strong are always biased towards the strong. Lin Moi reached out and patted the stele, then turned and left. As usual, he left 10 skeleton god generals to guard the location. The skeleton god warrior discovered a giant beast a million kilometers away from the stele. A large number of skeleton god generals rushed over, and the battle ended quickly. Lin Moyu arrived late, picking up the spoils. It was a token numbered 6. Most of the rules on the second level have not changed, only slight adjustments have been made. The monsters simulated by the formation are stronger, and the giant beasts are still real, not simulated by the formation. Compared to the third level, the combat power of the giant beasts on the second level has also improved, but it is still within the range of the lesser god Venerable. Lin Moyu felt that the combat power of the giant beasts on the second level was already on par with Chu Shang and Zhuang Bai, but not as good as Qing Fei, Dongfang Zi, and others. According to this estimate, the combat power of the giant beasts on the first level should reach the peak of the lesser god Venerable, on par with Qing Fei and others. And the alien races simulated by the formation on the first level may have reached the 9th rank of God King. Finally, the skeletons found the center point. At the center point, there was a huge city, larger than any other city. As soon as you see the city, you can immediately determine that this is the center point. In the center of the city, there is a tall tower. On top of the tower, an abyss dragon demon is coiled. Alien leader, abyss dragon demon. Old friend. Among the demons, Lin Moyu was most familiar with the abyss dragon demon. It must be said that the abyss dragon demon, as the emperor of the demon race, does possess extraordinary aura. Just being entrenched there is enough to frighten people. When Lin Moyu thought that the abyss dragon demon, like the giant beasts, was real, he suddenly discovered that the abyss dragon demon was not real. The abyss dragon demon has no soul. When he discovered that the abyss dragon demon had no soul, Lin Moyu looked at it for a while longer, not quite believing it. After repeatedly confirming that the abyss dragon demon had no soul, Lin Moyu was stunned. He suddenly realized why the Human Emperor Network stopped the projection. The scene in front of him should not be shown to outsiders. Not only aliens, but even fellow humans, are not suitable to see it. Perhaps some people can't see anything, but there will always be smart people in the world. Because the abyss dragon demon in front of you is a god Venerable. The 4 domain lords were all stunned, with undisguised shock in their eyes. Wu Da murmured, "No way, the imitation spirit array has reached this point, even god Venerables can be created." Zhu Tian whispered, "Indeed, it can't be shown to outsiders, it will start a race war." Yi Qingshan said excitedly, "If we can mass-produce god Venerables, then our human race, then we will stand above all races." Bai Binger's beautiful eyes showed disbelief. How did they do it? There was no news beforehand. From the formation, I seem to feel the power of faith. Shu's ancestor's voice was dignified and deep. What you see is not allowed to be leaked. Understood, the four said in unison. They knew the importance of the matter. If the alien races knew that the human race's imitation spirit array had reached this point, it would definitely start a war between all races. Although the current human race is not afraid, it is not the time yet. Old Ancestor Shu said, in fact, the imitation spirit array has not been completely successful. This time it is also using these little guys to experiment. The four nodded lightly. Being able to experiment means that it is more than half successful. Continue to improve it, and I believe it will be put into use soon. Thinking about the imitation spirit array if it can be put into practical combat. Just thinking about it, the four were extremely excited. Lin Moyu was also a little shocked at this time. The Great Formation actually created a god Venerable out of thin air. Before, when he saw the Great Formation simulating God King realm alien races out of thin air, he was not shocked. Even if the Great Formation could simulate lesser god Venerables, he would not be shocked. Later, he discovered that the lesser god Venerable realm giant beasts were real giant beasts. At that time, he instinctively felt that the limit of the Great Formation simulation was God King. But now, his thoughts have been completely broken. The formation can simulate God Kings and simulate God Venerables, which are completely different concepts. The demons and other creatures simulated by the formation are no different from ordinary creatures except for having no soul. The combat power is almost the same. If a large number of God Venerables can be simulated, how terrifying will this formation be once it is put into practical combat? The human race's combat power will increase exponentially. There is no need to doubt the human race's ability to create formations. It is not difficult for the human race to create formations that cover galaxies. Imagine, when two armies are facing each other, suddenly the human race throws out a great formation. The enemy's opponent directly becomes a simulation of the formation, not afraid of casualties, and the number is endless. How can you fight that? Forget about fighting, just commit suicide. However, Lin Moyu also noticed that the human race should not have the ability to simulate God Venerable realm creatures at will yet. Otherwise, there is no need to be so secretive. Lin Moyu thought a lot in this moment, and finally said in a low voice, "Let me try. How strong is your God Venerable?" He quickly rushed to the center of the second layer, no longer caring about those fortresses and cities. At this time, the Abyss Dragon Demon in the central city slowly woke up, letting out a earth-shattering roar. Road signs appeared in the sky, and the Human Emperor Network's reminder sounded. Chapter 1535. Go ahead and do it, you are responsible for the consequences. The alien leader in the second center has awakened, and the players can go and kill it. Lin Moyu looked at the great formation in the sky and shouted in his heart, "This is forcing me to offend people." Originally, if he went over and killed the Abyss Dragon Demon himself, nothing would happen. It is estimated that others would not even find out. But now, his plan to secretly kill monsters has been disrupted. The Human Emperor Network seemed to have discovered his thoughts and deliberately caused him some trouble. Lin Moyu made up his mind, then let's follow the original plan. A large number of skeleton god generals flew out, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000. Millions of skeleton god generals, one by one, turned into streamers, surrounding the central city. From this moment on, the central city became a forbidden area, and Lin Moyu did not allow anyone to approach. Anyone who approached would encounter the ruthless attack of the skeleton god generals. When millions of lesser god realm skeleton god generals were placed in front of them, the four domain lords were completely uneasy. Even Zhu Tian, at this moment, had a dazed look in his eyes, not knowing what was happening. He knew that Lin Moyu's summons would be many, and the number was amazing. But normally speaking, the higher the level of the summons, the smaller the number. The summoners of Xuanwu Star region are all like this. It has almost become a law and common sense. But this common sense was broken on Lin Moyu. The other three went towards him. Zhu Tian shirked the responsibility without hesitation. "Don't look at me, go ask Zhu the boss if you have anything." The three of them scoffed, clearly not believing him. At this moment, old ancestor Shu said, "This is also one of the reasons for closing the projection. You must also keep silent about Lin Moyu's matter." The four understood the importance of the matter. At this moment, Lin Moyu's importance had been elevated to the same level as the imitation spirit array. He was an absolute secret of the human race. The four were very smart. They could imagine that if Lin Moyu continued to grow and his summons continued to become stronger. One day, if his summons became divine sovereigns, and 1,000,000 divine sovereigns went to the battlefield, what a sight that would be. It seemed that even the imitation spirit array was not that important anymore. Millions of skeleton divine generals, densely packed, from the sky to the ground, surrounded the entire central city. Their long swords were pointed outwards, not to fight to the death with the abyss dragon demons in the city. The role of the skeleton divine generals was to block anyone who wanted to come over, so as not to disturb Lin Moyu. Dongfangzi arrived and braked violently in the air. He stopped 10,000 meters away from the skeleton divine generals. At this moment, the skeleton divine generals in front of him had already raised their long swords, aiming at him. Dongfangzi felt that he was locked onto by a wave of killing intent, which made him very uncomfortable. He saw Lin Moyu in the midst of the skeletons from afar, and his heart trembled violently. These skeletons, are they all Lin Moyu's summons? No wonder he could harvest points so quickly in the Ring Mountain continent. Summons comparable to lesser divine sovereign realm are indeed terrifying. Although there were many skeleton divine generals, Dongfangzi was not afraid. He shouted at Lin Moyu, what do you mean? Lin Moyu seemed to be waiting for him. It doesn't mean anything, just telling you not to get close. Dongfangzi said in a deep voice, what if I insist on getting close? Then you can try, I don't mind eliminating you now. Lin Moyu's tone was calm, and it didn't sound like there was any anger, but it was not the case in Dongfangzi's ears. Dongfangzi said coldly, do you know that doing this will incur public anger? While he was speaking, Wei Bowen arrived, and Qing Fei and Shui Zilan also rushed over. Everyone maintained a considerable distance and did not get close. Dongfangzi deliberately amplified his voice so that everyone could hear. Everyone could see that Dongfangzi was trying to provoke them. Whether it was Qing Fei or Wei Bowen, their strength was very strong. Although they were still lesser divine sovereigns, they far surpassed the skeleton divine generals. If they really wanted to rush in, even though there were many skeleton divine generals, they might not be able to stop them. Soon, a few others arrived. In addition to Dongfangzi, there were 2 other lesser divine sovereigns from Divine City. Although their strength was not as good as Dongfangzi, they were only a little bit weaker. After the 2 of them arrived, they directly stood on Dongfangzi's side. After all, they were from Divine City, so they naturally belonged to the same front. Another person from the War God Temple also arrived, and he stood with Wei Bowen. Bai Xiao and Hu Tian from the White Tiger Star region also arrived one after another. A stream of water fell from the sky and turned into a figure beside Shui Zilan, Senior Sister Shui, I'm here. Soon, except for Zhuangbai and Chu Shang, everyone who entered the second level had arrived here. Dongfangzi showed a smug smile, Lin Moyu, are you planning to offend all of us? Although you have many skeletons, I admit that if it is a life and death battle, we are not your opponents. But with them alone, can they stop us? Dongfangzi was borrowing momentum, but what he said was also the truth. Everyone's here. The reason why Lin Moyu didn't act immediately was to wait for them. His gaze swept over everyone, are you planning to stop me? His voice became powerful, and an invisible pressure was generated. Dongfangzi and Wei Bowen's expressions changed slightly, feeling a trace of something was wrong. At this moment, they had a feeling of facing a powerful divine sovereign. That was the pressure of the soul level. Lin Moyu had killed divine sovereigns, and more than one. He had faced the other shore realm and endured the powerful curse left over from ancient times. Even if the quality of the soul was put aside, his energy, spirit, and soul could not be compared with these people. Qing Fei shook her head first, Junior brother Lin, don't misunderstand, I just want to see how you will kill the Abyss Dragon Demon. Qing Fei was the first to express her position, she would not interfere with Lin Moyu. Dongfangzi's expression became ugly. In his perception, himself, Wei Bowen, and Qing Fei were the 3 strongest. If Qing Fei stood by and watched, the threat to Lin Moyu would be greatly reduced. Dongfangzi looked at Qing Fei and said in a low voice, are you willing to watch him kill the alien leader and get the magic weapon? When did the people of the Azure Dragon Star region become so timid? Qing Fei's voice turned cold, and the blue long sword in her hand waved gently, making bursts of dragon roars, how I decide is none of your business. If you say half a sentence more, I will fight you right now. You. Dongfangzi was speechless. He didn't want to fight Qing Fei now. At this time, Shui Zilin also expressed her position. Junior brother Lin, I have no intention of competing with you, I just want to see, I will not intervene. At this time, the figure beside Shui Zilin said in a low voice, I have no opinion on what senior sister Shui decides. Obviously, the two had a good relationship, and this person followed Shui Zilin's lead. The burly Hu Tian said loudly, I will not compete with junior brother Lin, I just want to see junior brother Lin's methods. Another player from the White Tiger Star region beside him did not speak. However, he took a step back, indicating his position. The cultivators of the 4 major star regions, for their own reasons, did not compete with Lin Mo Yu. Now, there were only 3 people from Divine City led by Dongfang Zi, and 2 people from Wei Bowen's War God Temple. The 2 were at odds with Lin Mo Yu, and obviously did not want to give up easily. Lin Mo Yu looked at them, you can do it, but you will be responsible for the consequences. His tone was still calm, not a threat, but better than a threat. Dongfang Zi had a feeling that it was not right to do it, and it was not right not to do it. He was very unwilling in his heart, but looking at the densely packed skeleton divine generals, he really didn't have much confidence. There was no problem rushing over, but what about next? Lin Mo Yu ignored them and flew towards the city. The moment he entered the city, the Abyss Dragon Demon completely awakened and let out a earth-shattering roar. Chapter 1536 Divine Sovereign Realm Skeleton King. The terrifying pressure belonging to the Divine Sovereign swept across the world in an instant. All the clouds were blown away, revealing the huge array in the air, clearly visible. The ground cracked, countless rubble appeared cracks, and the city almost collapsed. Dongfang Zi and others changed their colors at the same time. Divine Sovereign. It's actually a Divine Sovereign. Divine Sovereign Realm Abyss Dragon Demon. Sighs were issued one by one, and no one thought that the alien leader would be a Divine Sovereign. They originally thought that the Abyss Dragon Demon, like other giant beasts, was just a lesser Divine Sovereign, at most the peak of the lesser Divine Sovereign. Dongfang Zi felt that as long as it was still a lesser Divine Sovereign, he could kill it with a little effort. But facing the Divine Sovereign, he had no other way but to have a certain degree of self-protection. Even if everyone present joined forces, they might not be able to beat the Divine Sovereign. Dongfang Zi, who was still struggling whether to do it, had no intention of doing it at this moment. Against the Divine Sovereign, no matter how many skeletons you have, it's useless. The power of the Divine Sovereign is far from being comparable to that of the lesser Divine Sovereign. Thinking to himself, Dongfang Zi quickly retreated to avoid being affected. Not only was he retreating, but Wei Bowen and the others were also backing away, both sides acting with tacit understanding. In contrast, Qing Fei and the others did not retreat, seemingly confident in Lin Mo's abilities. Qing Fei didn't know why, but her intuition told her that the Divine Lord Realm Abyss Dragon Demon was no match for Lin Mo. Shui Zilin had a similar intuition, so she didn't retreat either. Lin Mo felt the Divine Lord aura emanating from the Abyss Dragon Demon and slightly shook his head. It's still a bit lacking compared to a true Divine Lord. He had fought several Divine Lords and was very clear about their strength. The Abyss Dragon Demon in front of him, although possessing an aura and pressure similar to a Divine Lord, was ultimately lacking. Lin Mo felt that it might be due to the formation. After all, something simulated by a formation was very different from a true Divine Lord realm being. Another point was the signature ability of a Divine Lord, mobilizing the power of the Lost Star River. He wondered if the Abyss Dragon Demon in front of him could do it. Lin Mo sighed, revealing a hint of disdain, let's try it out, I hope it won't disappoint me. His subtle expression was noticed by Dongfang Zi, causing Dongfang Zi to mutter inwardly, what's with that expression? He's actually showing disdain. He's looking down on a Divine Lord. Does he not respect Divine Lords? Wei Bowen also noticed Lin Mo's expression. His expression is a bit strange, he doesn't seem to take the Divine Lord seriously. Qing Fei and Shui Zilin had different feelings. In their eyes, Lin Mo seemed disappointed in the Divine Lord. They didn't understand, but instinctively felt that there might be something wrong with the Abyss Dragon Demon. Unfortunately, with their eyesight, they couldn't see what the problem was. Not only Dongfang Zi and the others, but the 4 domain lords also noticed Lin Mo's expression. Knowing the inside story, they gleaned other information from Lin Mo's subtle expression. Yi Qingshan said in a low voice, this kid seems to have seen something. Bai Binger was skeptical, is that possible? He's just a divine king, it's impossible for him to see through the secrets of the formation. Yi Qingshan shook his head, it's hard to say, I've always felt that he's unusual. Wu Da suddenly said to Zhu Tian, Zhu Lao-san, he's your man, what do you think his expression means? Zhu Tian chuckled, just keep watching and you'll find out. Keep watching. Lin Mo raised his hand and pointed towards the sky. Boom, the world shook violently, and even the great formation was impacted. Gray flames appeared in the sky, instantly enveloping the entire city. The flames soared into the sky, burning fiercely, yet strangely without any temperature. A pressure no weaker than the abyss dragon demon slowly emanated from the flames. The four domain lords also revealed expressions of shock, and even the Shu family ancestor in the other shore realm, at this moment, looked towards Lin Mo. The crowd outside the city revealed expressions of horror one by one. Dongfang Zi exclaimed in a lost voice, what kind of art is this? How can it have the pressure of a divine lord realm? Wei Bowen also roared, how can a mere divine king unleash such an art? Even my war god Hall doesn't have such an art. Qing Fei sighed softly, junior brother Lin indeed has another trump card. Shui Zilin, like the little red sprite on her shoulder, widened her eyes, I feel that the gray flames are very dangerous and could burn me to death. In the gray flames, a huge skeleton throne emerged. The skeleton throne was incomparably exquisite, exuding an ancient aura. The throne alone seemed like an artifact from a distant era, radiating formidable majesty. It's different. Lin Mo saw it and noticed some differences. He knew that after he reached the fourth stage of the Divine King realm, the Skeleton King would likely reach Divine Lord combat power. That was indeed the case, but he didn't expect that the first to undergo transformation wouldn't be the Skeleton King, but the Skeleton Throne. The Skeleton Throne didn't become larger, but instead became smaller than before. Lin Mo naturally knew that the size of the Skeleton Throne basically represented the size of the Skeleton King. The lesser Divine Lord realm Skeleton King was as tall as 100,000 meters. The Skeleton Throne at that time could be described as covering the sky and sun. Seeking fresh flowers 0. But at this moment, the Skeleton Throne was only 10,000 meters, indicating that the Skeleton King was at most 10,000 meters. The Skeleton Throne flew out in the gray flames, like a supreme throne, floating in midair, confronting the Abyss Dragon Demon. Waves of immense pressure emanated from the Skeleton Throne. Then, a huge gem on the throne lit up, and as the light intertwined, the Skeleton King appeared on the throne. As Lin Mo had expected, the Skeleton King had indeed become smaller, from 100,000 meters to 10,000 meters. But the Skeleton King had also become stronger. The original Skeleton King was naked, although large and mighty, but always lacked something. The current Skeleton King wore an exquisite armor. The armor was as white as jade, yet reflected a metallic luster. Two different properties of luster appeared together, looking extremely extraordinary. The Skeleton King's head was also covered with a heavy helmet, revealing only a pair of terrifying eyes glowing with red light. The Skeleton King stood up from the throne, and the bone-made cloak behind him instantly ignited and was covered by flames. The Skeleton King reached out and slammed the Skeleton Throne, and the Skeleton Throne shattered with a bang. The exquisite throne instantly formed an equally exquisite bone sword. The Skeleton King held the bone sword with both hands and walked out of the flames. At this moment, he transformed into a terrifying flame warrior. The Abyss Dragon Demon seemed to sense the Skeleton King's power and let out a dragon roar, pouncing towards the Skeleton King. The red light in the Skeleton King's eyes flared, and in an instant, a Lost Star River appeared above the Skeleton King's head. The Lost Star River was filled with white bones, as if countless skeletons were floating within. Lin Mo's heart tightened. This was the Skeleton King's law, the law of white bones. The Skeleton King had become different, completely different from before. The Divine Lord Realm Skeleton King actually possessed his own law. In that case, would other skeletons also possess their own laws after reaching the Divine Lord Realm? Being both Divine Lords, the difference between having a Lost Star River and being able to mobilize the power of the Star River was enormous. The Lost Star River poured down, and countless white bones transformed into the power of law, converging on the Skeleton King. The bone sword slashed, bursting out with a sharp sword light. Art. God Slayer. The sword light exploded, and Lin Mo clearly felt that the power of this sword was extremely terrifying. The sword not only contained the Skeleton King's own law of white bones, but also contained his own law of immortality. The two laws merged almost perfectly, further increasing the power. Before the Abyss Dragon Demon could rush to the Skeleton King, brilliant sword lights suddenly burst out from all over its body, and its body was torn apart in the sword light. Chapter 1537. Has team spirit, just not much. The Abyss Dragon Demon didn't even have a chance to scream, torn apart in the sword light, and then turned into dust. It didn't even need the formation to take it back, it had already disappeared into the world. The Skeleton King, who was also a divine lord, had combat power far exceeding the Abyss Dragon Demon simulated by the formation, having destroyed the Abyss Dragon Demon with a single sword. At this moment, Dongfangzi and the others were completely shocked and speechless. With their comprehension abilities, they couldn't imagine what level of power this was. A divine king reversing a divine lord, was this something a human could really do? Even someone like Xiao Zontian back then, according to the records of the human race history, only managed to reverse to divine venerable at the 9th rank of divine king. He was also the only divine king in the history of the human race to slay a divine venerable. After Xiao Zontian, there were many geniuses, but none of them could or had the opportunity to do this. Like Xiao Sheng, who was hailed as the star of the human race, he only completed the feat of reversing and slaying a divine venerable in the realm of minor divine venerable. How could he be like Lin Mo Yu, who completed this feat at only the 4th rank of divine king? It can no longer be described as comparable to the god of war. Lin Mo Yu's actions have completely surpassed the former Xiao Zontian. Dongfangzi kept repeating, "This is impossible, this is impossible." Wei Bowen also stared wide-eyed, in disbelief. The 4 domain lords were equally shocked at this moment and couldn't speak, not much better than others. They knew that Lin Mo Yu was very powerful, but they didn't expect him to be so powerful. The voice of old ancestor Shu slowly sounded, "The future is promising." The future is promising, is already a very high evaluation. That was an evaluation given by the other shore realm, which ordinary people could not obtain at all. Even the 4 of them, domain lords at the peak of divine venerable, were only told by old ancestor Shu that they still had a chance. Yes, they had a chance to step into the other shore realm, but it was far less promising than Lin Mo Yu's future. The 4 of them realized that perhaps in old ancestor Shu's eyes, their status was far inferior to Lin Mo Yu's. It was highly likely that at some point in the future, Lin Mo Yu would surpass them and leave them far behind. When they thought about Lin Mo Yu's age, they felt that this possibility was infinitely great. The Abyss Dragon Demon died, the formation rumbled, and the entire city turned into spots of light. The spots of light gathered in the air and turned into a long sword, which directly fell into Lin Mo Yu's hands. The long sword was very gorgeous, with a delicate gemstone embedded in the hilt, looking as crystal clear as a dragon's eye. This is not a real object. As soon as he got the sword, Lin Mo Yu knew that this sword was also simulated by the formation. It felt like a real object in hand, but it was not a real object. Lin Mo Yu was full of curiosity about the formation, which could simulate various creatures and achieve a level of realism. It could also simulate magical treasures and exert some special effects in the formation. What a magical formation! But this sword did not show its due attributes, and had no other characteristics except for being gorgeous. Lin Mo Yu thought for a while and, like in the real world, cast a detection spell on the sword. The Human Emperor Network immediately responded. Violent sword. Can amplify the user's attack by 10 times, up to 10 times. A very simple attribute, which can amplify the attack by 10 times. Amplifying by 10 times is a great temptation for anyone. If it fell into the hands of Dongfangzi or Qingfei, and they used this sword to launch their strongest attack, it would probably reach the level of a divine venerable. It's very useful to others, but to me, it doesn't seem to be of much use. This sword might be given to senior brother Zhuang and senior brother Chu, and the rules don't say that it can't be given to others. In this way, senior brother Zhuang and senior brother Chu might be able to achieve good rankings in the next stage. Lin Mo Yu thought, but the prerequisite was that Zhuang Bai and Chu Shang could pass this stage of the test and successfully enter the next stage. Now the 2 are not here, Lin Mo Yu knows what they are doing. It is right not to join in the fun in the central area, it is better to take this opportunity to find tokens and spells. Perhaps they already have results. Lin Mo Yu put away the violent sword and flew to the Skeleton King, and at the same time took back the million skeleton divine generals. His sharp eyes swept over Dongfangzi and others. Do you still want to fight? Lin Mo Yu was condescending, like a monarch overlooking his subjects, which made Dongfangzi very unhappy. But being unhappy was useless, he had to admit that he was not Lin Mo Yu's opponent. The 10,000-meter skeleton that Lin Mo Yu summoned at the end had the strength to crush him. If nothing unexpected happened, the champion this time would belong to Lin Mo Yu, and he did not have the ability to compete with him. Under Lin Mo Yu's gaze, Dong Fangzi snorted heavily and left without looking back. Wei Bowen also turned and left when he saw this. Hu Tian cupped his fist towards Lin Mo Yu. "Junior brother Lin, I admire you." Lin Mo Yu accepted it calmly and nodded slightly. "Senior brother Hu, I won't see you off." Hu Tian turned and left, leaving only Qing Fei, Shui Zilan, and the figure who had been standing by Shui Zilan's side. This figure was hazy, wrapped in a layer of water vapor, and his true face could not be seen. In the player information, his name is Shui Xing, and he should know Shui Zilan. Qing Fei said, "Junior brother Lin, why not just eliminate Dong Fangzi and Wei Bowen?" Lin Mo Yu said, "If I wanted to eliminate them, I could have done it on the 3rd floor. But there is no need to do so, otherwise the following game would be meaningless." Lin Mo Yu was not exaggerating, he did have the ability to eliminate everyone on the 3rd floor. But in that case, the entire competition would become meaningless. He would certainly win the championship, but he would not be able to see what happened on the 2nd floor, or see this magical formation. With the experience of the 2nd floor, Lin Mo Yu also wanted to see what the 1st floor looked like, so he would not eliminate Dong Fangzi now. Keeping them is still useful. Qing Fei did not know Lin Mo Yu's true thoughts, but followed Lin Mo Yu's words. "Junior brother Lin is really detached, treating the grand competition as a game. I'm afraid it has been like this from the beginning." Lin Mo Yu smiled and did not answer. Qing Fei did not continue to ask, but instead said, "I no longer expect to be the first, but Qing Fei still wants to fight hard for the 2nd place." As she spoke, she looked at Shui Zilan not far away, and Shui Zilan whispered, "I want to compete for the top 5. Both of them have very firm wills and their own goals." Lin Mo Yu smiled slightly, "Then I wish the 2 senior sisters success." Qing Fei and Shui Zilan also left, they were going to find tokens and stells. Lin Mo Yu did not act immediately. After killing the Abyss Dragon Demon, he already knew that he could go to the 1st floor at any time. This was a right given to him by the rules. As for when to go, he could go at any time, with just a thought. Lin Mo Yu was not in a hurry. After getting the violent sword, he had other ideas. When he first heard about the 4-star territory competition in the Vermilion Bird Star territory, someone once said that the Vermilion Bird Star territory had always been at the bottom. There were only a few times when it was not at the bottom, and that was the 3rd from last. This time, he wanted to try to see if he could raise the overall score of the Vermilion Bird Star territory to 1st or 2nd place. Relying on him alone to win the 1st place would definitely not be enough. This was a comprehensive ranking. If he could let Zhuang Bai and Chu Shang get 2nd and 3rd respectively, and they took the top 3, perhaps he could do it. Originally this was impossible, but now with the violent sword, he saw a glimmer of hope. As a player from the Vermilion Bird Star territory, he had a little bit of a sense of team honor, but not much. Chapter 1538. Cooperate and share resources. The skeleton divine generals began to run around the arena again. They were not looking for cities, but directly looking for giant beasts. As long as the token is in hand, you can take the initiative. Not long after the alien leader was killed, a beam of light shot straight into the sky. Player number 4 has obtained the token. The formation has begun to guide the beacon. You can follow the guide beacon to find player No. 4. A guide beacon appeared in the formation. You can follow the guide beacon to find player No. 4. Senior brother Zhuang has obtained the token. Lin Mo Yu thought for a while and summoned 100 skeleton divine generals. He handed the token he obtained to a skeleton divine general. "Go, take it to senior brother Zhuang." 100 skeleton divine generals immediately flew towards Zhuang Bai along the guide beacon. Lin Mo Yu knew that Zhuang Bai must be with Chu Shang. He already had one token, and now he was sending another one over, so they only needed to find the corresponding stone tablet. Sending 100 skeleton divine generals was also to protect them. In case Wei Bowen and Dong Fangzi wanted to steal their tokens, the 100 skeleton divine generals would be enough to ensure their safety. Of course, Zhuang Bai and Chu Shang's own combat strength wasn't bad either, at least not worse than the 2 from the 26th White Tiger Starfield. Lin Mo Yu was just being cautious, as he had been for many years, and couldn't change it. The 4 domain lords were now staring at Lin Mo Yu without blinking. Bai Binger asked strangely, "Why isn't he going to the 1st level?" Wu Da murmured, judging by their appearance, they seem to want to find more tokens and eliminate others. Yi Qingshan shook his head. He let Dongfangzi and Wei Bowen go before, which seems somewhat contradictory to what he's doing now. Bai Binger frowned. I don't know what he's going to do, I can't figure it out. Zhu Tian laughed. What's so hard to figure out? Actually, with his ability, he could have eliminated everyone in the third level if he wanted to. He didn't do that in the third level, and he's even less likely to do it now. Several people looked over, knowing that Zhu Tian understood Lin Moyu better than they did. Bai Binger snorted. Stop being mysterious, tell us quickly. Zhu Tian said, this kid has a characteristic, he's extremely curious. He wants to get to the bottom of everything. As long as he discovers the characteristics of the imitation spirit grand formation, he will definitely explore it further, so he won't eliminate these people. Bai Binger's beautiful eyes widened. You mean, he's using these people as his exploration tools? Zhu Tian shook his head. That's too harsh, it might be better to say they're gaming partners. Wu Da interrupted Zhu Tian. It's all the same thing anyway, this kid has a plan, I like it. Yi Qingshan's eyes showed contemplation. Being curious is a good thing, but it's not always a good thing. In the history of the human race, many geniuses have died because of their curiosity. There are many dangerous places in the great world. That's why the human race has such strict permission systems. If you don't have the strength and just wander around, you'll end up dead. Even divine sovereigns, even them, find some places dangerous. In fact, there are very few places that divine kings can go. Yi Qingshan looked at Zhu Tian. Zhu Lao-san, if you have the chance, advise him not to be so curious. He once had a disciple with excellent aptitude, but he also fell in an unknown place while exploring because he was too curious. Bai Binger frowned. If it's inconvenient for you to say it, I'll say it. Anyway, I'm a domain lord, so I think he'll give me some face. Shu family ancestor spoke at this moment. Everyone has their own path, don't interfere. The other Shore Realm ancestor had spoken, so the four naturally didn't dare to disobey and put away their thoughts. To them, the other Shore Realm was the supreme existence. The four domain lords didn't dare to disobey his words. The competition was still going on, and 100 skeleton divine generals transformed into streams of light, flying at an astonishing speed of 150,000 kilometers per second, quickly finding Zhuangbai and Chu Shang along the guidance of the beacons. Upon receiving the tokens brought by the skeleton divine generals and seeing that the skeleton divine generals had no intention of leaving, Zhuangbai understood Lin Moyu's intention. He immediately began searching for the corresponding stone tablet. Just as they were searching, a stream of light came quickly from afar. Dongfangzi arrived, his eyes extremely unfriendly. But upon seeing the 100 skeleton divine generals, Dongfangzi snorted angrily, turned around, and left without stopping. Soon after, Wei Bowen also arrived, and the reaction was exactly the same as Dongfangzi's. They weren't afraid of the 100 skeleton divine generals, the problem was that Lin Moyu had far more than just 100 skeleton divine generals. If they were entangled, and more skeleton divine generals came later, or even that divine sovereign realm skeleton, Wei Bowen and Dongfangzi weren't fools, they wouldn't do something so futile. Lin Moyu was too strong now, they had no choice but to retreat. Not long after they left, Qing Fei also came over. But she didn't leave, nor did she retreat. Upon seeing the skeleton divine generals, Qing Fei revealed an expression of, as expected. Lin Moyu's behavior made her realize that Lin Moyu was not only exceptionally strong, but also had a surprisingly meticulous mind. Qing Fei didn't show any malice, so Zhuangbai and Chu Shang naturally wouldn't attack. The skeleton divine generals were just watching, without any movement. Qing Fei cupped her fists towards Zhuangbai and Chu Shang. Two senior brothers, may I ask, what symbols are on your tokens? Zhuangbai was slightly stunned, pondering Qing Fei's intention. Chu Shang was the most direct. Sister, what's the matter? Just say it, I'm a straightforward person and don't like beating around the bush. Qing Fei said, I've found 2 stone tablets. If the tokens in the hands of the 2 senior brothers happen to match, then it will save a lot of effort. If they don't match, I may also have some discoveries and can contact the 2 senior brothers in time to exchange information. Zhuangbai already understood her intention, having a token wasn't enough, they also needed stone tablets. However, there was no such thing as a free lunch. Zhuangbai knew that Qing Fei had come specifically because she wanted something. Zhuangbai said, state your request. Qing Fei smiled slightly and said directly, I discovered a giant beast, but with my ability, although I can kill it, it will take a lot of effort. The current situation is also known to the two senior brothers. Except for junior brother Lin, who stands out from the crowd, we have fallen into chaos. I have no problem protecting myself, the key is that there will be losses after the great battle. Zhuangbai understood. Okay, we will help you kill the giant beast, and you will help us find the stone tablet together. As he spoke, he took out the token and showed the two symbols on the token. The symbol on one token was 7, and the symbol on the other token was 6. These two symbols were both primordial ancient texts, and none of the three recognized them, but it didn't prevent them from remembering them. Qing Fei pointed to the number 6 token and said, "It's a coincidence, I know where the stone tablet for this token is." Zhuangbai was overjoyed. "Good, then we will kill the giant beast first, and then you will take us to the stone tablet." Suddenly, a stream of water descended from the sky, transforming into two figures. Shui Zilan and her little follower arrived together, and Zhuangbai and Chu Shang immediately became vigilant. Shui Zilan said in a gentle voice, "Two senior brothers, senior sister Qing Fei, how about including me in this matter?" She pointed to the token numbered 7, Zilan knows the location of the stone tablet for this token. Chapter 1539, Let's all be embarrassed together. Because of Lin Mo Yu, Zhuangbai and Chu Shang benefited unknowingly. Although Qing Fei and Shui Zilan didn't curry favor with Lin Mo Yu, they wouldn't offend him. A woman's intuition told them that having a good relationship with Lin Mo Yu would only bring them benefits and no harm. However, it was difficult to directly contact Lin Mo Yu, so they instinctively chose Zhuangbai and Chu Shang. Qing Fei had contact with Lin Mo Yu and could roughly see what kind of person he was from their brief conversation. After seeing the skeleton divine generals, she knew that her choice was correct. Lin Mo Yu would let the skeleton divine generals come over, proving that these two still had some status in Lin Mo Yu's heart. Moreover, they seemed to have been with Lin Mo Yu all the time during these days of the competition. At the very least, they were good friends. Shui Zilan also had her own thoughts. She knew her own strength, which was weaker than Qing Fei and Dongfangzi. Much of her combat strength came from the 3 small divine sovereign realm puppets. If she faced the giant beast alone, the 3 small divine sovereign realm puppets would easily be damaged, which would affect her combat strength and be detrimental to the next stage of the competition. Therefore, choosing cooperation is a very good method. Besides that, Shui Zilan has even further ideas, but she hasn't mentioned them yet. For the cooperation requests from the two beauties, Qing Fei and Shui Zilan, Zhuangbai and Chu Shang naturally had no reason to object. After all, there was no harm for them. After the 4 discussed for a while, they decided to first eliminate the giant beasts at known locations, and then look for the corresponding steles. As long as they had the tokens in hand, they would have the initiative. Lin Mo used the skeleton god general to know that the 4 had begun to cooperate. He smiled. They are quite smart, this kind of win-win situation is not bad. He could naturally guess a thing or two about Qing Fei and Shui Zilan's thoughts. With their addition, Zhuangbai and Chu Shang would have no problem entering the first level. Even Qing Fei and Shui Zilan would actively escort Zhuangbai and Chu Shang into the first level first, and then they would enter. This could also be considered a show of goodwill. A day later, Zhuangbai, Chu Shang, Qing Fei, Shui Zilan, and Shui Zilan's little follower successfully killed 3 giant beasts and obtained 3 tokens. Adding the tokens that Zhuangbai and Chu Shang already had, the 5 tokens were exactly 1 for each person. However, among the 5 tokens, only 3 steles could correspond to them. The other 2 still needed to be found. Suddenly, several people received the message at the same time. Player number 3 has entered the first level. Chu Shang shouted in his loud voice, "This guy has good luck." Qing Fei said, "I didn't expect him to be the first." Zhuangbai shook his head and said, "If it weren't for thinking about us, junior brother Lin should have been the first." Shui Zilan shook her head. "Actually, whether it's first or not is not important, just like when we entered the second level. Only when everyone comes in will the new rules be announced." Chu Shang echoed, "Zilan is right, so we don't need to worry, just be steady and play it safe." Qing Fei said, "I think we can go find the steles now." They already had the tokens, now they just needed the steles. They already knew the location of 3 steles, and there were 2 more left. Shui Zilan said, "According to the previous agreement, should we send the 2 senior brothers to the first level first?" Chu Shang immediately shook his head. No, let's find the other two stells first, and then enter the first level. Qing Fei looked at Zhuang Bai, and Zhuang Bai said, I have no objections. Qing Fei nodded, all right. Zhuang Bai glanced at Chu Shang. Chu Shang's words just now had a bit of flattery. Not only just now, but throughout the whole day, as long as Shui Zilan spoke, Chu Shang would follow along and praise her. How could Zhuang Bai not know what Chu Shang was thinking? Sima Zhao's ambition is known to all. This guy looks simple and carefree, but he actually has a lot of thoughts. Shui Zilan didn't seem to be disgusted with Chu Shang, but instead showed a bright smile, seeming quite happy. Several people began to look for the location of the stells. City after city was razed to the ground by them, and the alien races formed by the formations were quickly wiped out. Another day passed, and Zhuang Bai and others finally found all the locations of the stells. The reminder from the Human Emperor Network appeared again. Player number 6 has entered the first level. Wei Bowen also went in. Qing Fei took a deep breath, let's go in too. Now they only needed to rush to the location of the stells separately to enter the first level. At the time of separation, Shui Zilan suddenly took out 5 fist-sized puppets. These are the concentric puppets I made. They have no other function, they just allow us to locate each other. When we enter the first level, use the concentric puppets to locate each other, and then find each other and continue to cooperate together. Several people happily agreed to Shui Zilan's proposal. Several people had realized the benefits of cooperation, not only was it easy, but also safe. The efficiency may be slightly insufficient, but now it is not the kind of race against time, so there is no need to compete for first place. There is actually not much difference between the first to complete and the last to complete. Qing Fei generously took a concentric puppet, then we'll see you in the first level. Chu Shang and Zhuang Bai also took a concentric puppet respectively. The 5 people dispersed and went to the stells respectively. Chu Shang's eyes kept staring in the direction Shui Zilan left, and he was reluctant to take them back for a long time. Zhuang Bai raised his hand and patted his thick shoulder, okay, stop looking, you'll be able to meet again in a while. Chu Shang scratched his head, old Zhuang, what do you think of Zilan? Zhuang Bai pondered for a few breaths, she's beautiful, has delicate thoughts, and is very good. Chu Shang said, then you say, I have no chance. Zhuang Bai looked up and down at Chu Shang, making Chu Shang a little nervous. Chu Shang couldn't help but shout, old Zhuang, what do you mean? Zhuang Bai laughed, I'm not kidding with you, Miss Shui doesn't seem to dislike you, keep trying, and there's a good chance. Chu Shang got Zhuang Bai's encouragement and immediately gained confidence. Chu Shang shouted loudly, okay, I must marry Zilan home. Zhuang Bai chuckled, keep it up, I believe in you. Chu Shang suddenly said, old Zhuang, I think Miss Qing Fei is also good, and she matches you quite well. Zhuang Bai looked at him and said angrily, are you full and have nothing to do? You haven't taken care of your own business, and you're still managing mine. Chu Shang gave a tisk sound, we're brothers in this life, can't brothers worry about you? I'm serious, you two really match well. Zhuang Bai was silent and didn't say anything. Chu Shang was relentless, looking at you, I know that you must have a little interest in Qing Fei, or else I. Shut up, Zhuang Bai said softly, interrupting Chu Shang's nagging. He flew towards another steel without looking back. Chu Shang scratched his head and muttered to himself, if you're interested, just say it directly, why are you being so hesitant? I don't think Miss Qing Fei hates you either. Suddenly, Zhuang Bai, who was going away, stopped. In his hand, the concentric puppet transmitted Chu Shang's voice, which was Chu Shang's muttering. Zhuang Bai's face became extremely wonderful, this concentric puppet could actually transmit sound. In that case, did Qing Fei and Shui Zilan also hear it? Zhuang Bai sighed inwardly, thought about it, but still didn't say anything. At this moment, Qing Fei and Shui Zilan's expressions were also extremely complicated. But they didn't know what to say, and kept silent with great tacit understanding. Lin Mo, in the distance, also heard this passage through the skeleton god general, and couldn't help but laugh out loud. Unexpectedly, the cooperation of the 4 could create such a commotion, it's really a bit interesting. But thinking about it, they are indeed quite well matched. Chapter 1540 He knows exactly what he wants. Player number 2 has entered the first level. Player number 4 has entered the first level. Player no 5 has entered the first level. Player number 11 has entered the first level. Player number 13 has entered the first level. One by one, prompts appeared, and Zhuangbai and the other 4 all entered the first level. Now in the second level, besides Lin Mo Yu, there are 5 people left. They are number 7 and number 12 from God City, and number 14 from the Temple of War. As well as number 17 and number 18 from the White Tiger Star region. Lin Mo Yu had seen these people before, and the one who impressed him the most was No. 18, Hu Tian. Hu Tian was a bit similar to Chu Shang, being quite direct, and gave Lin Mo Yu a decent impression. The other one, named Bai Xiao, number 17, Lin Mo Yu had not interacted with him, but judging from his ranking, his strength was not inferior to Hu Tian. It should be said that both of them are quite strong. They were both dark horses who fought their way up from the preliminaries step by step, finally defeating the seeded players and forcefully squeezing into the top 16. Number 7 and number 12 from God City, because of the existence of Dongfang Zi, their light was somewhat obscured. But it must be said that the 2 are still very strong, at least stronger than the 2 from the White Tiger Star region. The one from the Temple of War is also not weak. Although ranked 14th, with the blessing of the Temple of War's secret techniques, if they were to fight, the outcome would be difficult to predict. In terms of strength, the second level is not difficult for them. If they followed the usual routine, they would all be able to enter the first level. But now, Lin Mo Yu has become an unexpected factor. Lin Mo Yu holds the remaining 6 tokens in his hand. Relying on the advantage of the Undead Legion, Lin Mo Yu advanced side by side, taking all the remaining tokens into his possession. As a result, now, if the 5 people want to obtain the tokens to enter the next level, they can only go to Lin Mo Yu. Hu Tian was the first to arrive, bringing Bai Xiao with him. He had traded with Lin Mo Yu once before and had some experience. Lin Mo Yu was about to get the tokens, but he didn't eliminate them. The purpose is self-evident. After Hu Tian arrived, he lowered his posture slightly and got straight to the point. Junior brother Lin, name your price. Bai Xiao was a little unaccustomed to it for a while, but Hu Tian had already spoken, so he didn't say much. Now there are only 2 paths in front of him, either buy a token from Lin Mo Yu, or be eliminated. Being eliminated like this, he was very unwilling, but buying a token, he also seemed unwilling. Lin Mo Yu threw a token to Hu Tian. You don't need to buy it, this is for you. As for him, the conditions are the same as yours. Hu Tian's eyes lit up, and he immediately whispered a few words in Bai Xiao's ear. Bai Xiao's expression was complicated. He obviously didn't expect that what Lin Mo Yu needed was these things. He learned from Hu Tian and recorded all his insights on the power of faith on a jade tablet. He also handed over the information he had collected about the power of faith to Lin Mo Yu, in exchange for a token to enter the lower level area. The 2 thanked Lin Mo Yu with their tokens and left happily. The 4 domain lords watched this scene, and Bai Binger, the master of the White Tiger Star region, breathed a sigh of relief. I thought this kid was going to ask for an exorbitant price. Zhu Tian snorted, he has a sense of propriety. Wu Da did not quite agree with Zhu Tian's words. I don't think he has a sense of propriety, but that he is too clear about what he needs. Thinking about it this way, it seems that this is indeed the case. Lin Mo Yu was very purposeful from the beginning, and he was probably already thinking about it at the beginning of the transaction. Yi Qingshan said, the insights and information on the power of faith are what he needs, and the White Tiger Star region happens to be good at these. Then what price will he ask for from God City and the Temple of War? Zhu Tian chuckled, what do you say God City and the Temple of War have respectively? The 3 of them were shocked and probably guessed what Lin Mo Yu would want. Lin Mo Yu was indeed very clear about what he needed. In these days, when he was chatting with Shu Jiangxing had mentioned some characteristics of God City. There are some special areas in God City where you can obtain some special materials. There are many of these materials, some of which even detection techniques cannot obtain their attributes, and the levels are not clear. Somewhat similar to the mysterious iron block that Shu Jiangxing had obtained before. What Lin Mo Yu wants now is this kind of material, whether it is useful or not, as long as he has it. Shu Jiangxing said that although this material is rare, because its use is unknown, it is not considered precious. Generally, cultivators from God City will have a few pieces more or less. When the 2 from God City came to him, Lin Mo Yu readily made his request. The 2 also readily agreed to exchange. What made Lin Mo Yu dumbfounded was that he got 2 more iron blocks, exactly the same as the one Shu Jiangxing gave him. It seems that this iron block is produced in no small quantity. As for the Temple of War, Lin Moyu wanted a secret technique. There are many inheritances in the Temple of War. These inheritances were all left by Xiao Zontian, most of which were obtained after destroying other races. In the inheritance, there are many secret techniques. These secret techniques have been improved and can already be used by the human race, such as the great strength mystic technique seen in the previous competition. Some secret techniques are very precious and not passed on. Some secret techniques can be passed on, and the Temple of War often uses them as rewards. Lin Moyu wanted a secret technique called the purple gold body. The purple gold body is a secret technique used to refine the body from the purple gold race that has been destroyed. The purple gold body is naturally not suitable for human cultivation. Later, human predecessors also studied the purple gold body, trying to transform it. However, the transformation effect was not very good, and the human race did not intend to take the path of physical sanctification. In the end, the purple gold body became one of the non-precious secret techniques in the Temple of War, and almost all members of the Temple of War can read it. Now it is used for trading, and no one will care. After completing the transaction, Lin Moyu finally used his privilege to enter the first level. The atmosphere on the first level was a bit gloomy, with a depressing feeling. Dongfang Zi was the first to enter the first level, and he was healing at the moment. After a great battle, although he eliminated the enemy, he was also injured. His eyes were fierce, and he was also shocked and panicked. The enemies on the first level are so strong. Shortly after entering the first level, he encountered the first wave of enemies. To be precise, it was not an encounter, but someone directly came to his door. This was a 100-man team of the Golden Eagle clan. In this team, 99 people were at the 9th rank of the God King, and the leader was a minor god. Dongfang Zi did not take such a team seriously. The reason was that the other party's minor god was much weaker than him. But at the beginning of the battle, he realized that something was wrong. The Golden Eagle clan had actually formed a battle formation, and the strength of all the people was gathered into one. Moreover, the Golden Eagle clan's characteristic, speed, is extremely fast. He could not avoid it at all. After the war, although he defeated his opponent, he was also injured. Dongfang Zi gritted his teeth. If we calculate according to this, the giant beasts here are probably already at the peak of the minor god, and it will be difficult to deal with. I can win by using secret techniques, but I will have to pay the price. After thinking for a moment, Dongfang Zi made a decision. An hour later, Dongfang Zi's injuries basically recovered. Golden light appeared in the dim world, and Dongfang Zi's expression suddenly became tense. Someone is coming to his door again. His injuries have just healed, and someone else is coming. Without thinking, Dongfang Zi immediately retreated. But the Golden Eagle clan's speed was faster than him, and they caught up in the blink of an eye, and another great battle broke out.